wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. I just wanna change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. forgive. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Yeah, 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 yeah. Paint away day and night, 6 hearts, hope I'm okay. You're alright, goodbye then if you dare. Someone new is pulling everywhere. I'm afraid to let them. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Yeah, 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 yeah. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. Nothing is what I think. Yeah, 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 yeah. 'Cause I will drown in pink. Oh, 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 oh. Freedom. Come on! You declare, so you always will. If you arrest yourself again, I'll help you clean up the mess. Misdirection, you know I'm through with you. Your hoops are my obsessions, always jumping through. I'm so tangled, I'm so worthy. I'm just lost in my reflection. Pay attention, you never will. I will overanalyze and fall victim. But when I'm lowest, time to get to know myself. I'm still tangled, I'm not worried, 'cause I am caught up in this perfection. Pay attention, yeah, you never will. 'Cause you depend, so you always will. If you arrest yourself again, I'll help you clean up the mess. Let's go! Wonder if you ever did, yeah. Wonder if you ever did. Let's go, Grando! Appreciate you, boss! Let's go! Oh! How we doing? Dude, what the fuck, bro? just wanna be free. Let's go! Free! Yeah, yeah, yeah! No, 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 I wanna be free! I wanna be free! Yeah, yeah, yeah! Free, yeah, yeah, yeah! Oh, dude, Ella, let's go! Thank you! Let's go! All right, dude. Dude, Ella, good to see you, Tommy, LFG boss. Yes, LFG boss to you. Thank you. Hold on. My typing's not working. Thank you. Let's go. Huge kickoff. And to you, Grando Reaper said, people don't mention the only job in rural areas, red, after recent layoffs with a living wage / no experience is ICE. Yikes, bro. My company let me go citing tariffs. I refuse to join the Gestapo. And dude, I mean, you're probably nailing it right there, right? Because it pays better than fucking Walmart, which is like the only other employer in some of those rural areas, right? All the hospitals are closing, the factories have dried up. Dude, that is depressing. So people are like forced into that shit. Larson says, Minneapolis, Portland, this guy 35 minutes ago, over 100 human remains were found in the possession of a Pennsylvania man who's accused of stealing from a Delaware County cemetery. Jesus. NBC 10, hey punks, let's go, Larson. Dude, that's crazy. Dude, what the fuck is going on with the cemetery raider, bro? Jesus. Was all over the news. What was all over the news? The cemetery guy? Dude, I slept in. I had a massage. I went grocery shopping. I decided not to make a third video. I've just been kicking it. Just fucking relaxing tonight. And here we are. Dude, like kind of a crazy day, actually. Is the cemetery raider, you're saying he was on the news? Dude. So fucking A, bro. Oh, no way. There was another, you're saying in October that guy was shot. So I mean, I saw something about like a Salt Lake City shooting or something that we may fucking look into here. So what exactly happened in Portland? We're going to get to that in a minute. I'll be honest about the Portland guys. I don't think they have a lot of information on this thing yet. Unlike the one in Minnesota where there were some protesters and everybody had cameras, the Portland one is a little fucking sketchier, a little bit like harder to figure out. Because, you know, they certainly didn't capture it on film and they don't have all the details. But we are going to look at it. It was a couple, yes. I know the Portland one was a couple. And here's what I know, though, guys, is the Portland one is really weird is they were shot in one location and then they drove to another location. Okay? So that's really fucking strange. That they were shot somewhere and then they drove somewhere. And I'm not exactly sure how you get shot by the ICE people, but they didn't commandeer them right after they shot them or something. Yeah, dude, it something about this shit is not adding up. Toyota Corolla, let's go.
Better off working as a dignified retail worker than being one of Orange Mussolini's personal SS thugs. Hashtag no kings. Yeah, no, I can't say I disagree with you, Corolla, on that one. So yeah, we will look at the Portland one. That's weird. I think I want to start though. I want to start with the two fucking big losses for DJT today. Dude, serious question. Has the democracy fallen and we just haven't accepted it yet? Actually kind of scared thinking how bad things can get. No, just vibe. I don't believe democracy has fallen. And it's because Trump keeps taking L's, boss. Okay? Trump keeps taking L's, bro. And today he took a couple big ones. All right? So let's start with the first one, which I mean, let's be honest, I feel like this is a political move for the purple districts, okay? And so the first one we're going to look at is the Obamacare subsidies, okay? The Obamacare back on, like, I mean, it passed the House. We're going to see what happens with the Senate. But this one is going to be interesting right here, okay? Because this is big, guys. Look at this shit, bro.
On this vote, the yeas are 230, the nays are 196. The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
All right. So there you go, dude. That's a big one. Okay? This is a big one. What is it? What do we have? We have fucking 16 Republicans joined Democrats, 17 Republicans joined Democrats to extend the Obamacare subsidies for 3 years. Okay, so what this does is this earmarks $80 billion to keep people's health care prices in check, a 3-year extension. Now it's going to go to the Senate. We don't know what's going to happen in the Senate. I feel like it's a pretty good chance that this thing will probably pass the Senate. We would have to look and see what Senate districts are up, because basically, guys, let me just tell you, okay, and then be vetoed by Trump. No, I don't think Trump would veto it. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if that would be a wise move. Like, you know, it would be interesting, maybe, but it may not get through the Senate because of, depending on which Senate seats are up. But let's be honest, guys. Okay, you ready? Listen to me here. Don't be under any assertions that these Republicans have a conscience and are concerned about people's health care. This is about purple districts, guys. Let's look at the Republicans who voted for this. All right, let's see who voted for it. All right, let's get a list of the Republicans. Because I'm telling you right now, this was a political move, guys. Okay? It was just a political move. So let's see. We got Bresnahan in Pennsylvania. All right, Mike Carey, Monica De La Cruz, Brian Fitzpatrick, Garbino, Hurd, Dave Joyce, Nick LaLota, Lawler, McKenzie, Carol Miller, Max Miller, right? All of these. Derek Van Orden. This is the guy who just won in fucking Wisconsin. All of this, guys, is people, they're just holding on to their districts, okay? These are purple districts. When you get a chance, can we start a dance party? Yes, let's do it. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go, boss. All right, 30 minutes, dance party. There it is. We're going to get this fucking solidified. This is purple districts, okay? That's what it is, guys. right? No one from Idaho. If you look at the states that are missing. Okay, there were no Republicans from like, Alabama or Missouri or Mississippi or Georgia, right? It is just Republicans that are worried about losing their seats. Okay, that's really all this is. I don't believe for a minute that these people are like really concerned about saving healthcare. I think it was mostly a party line vote, but then these people like realized that in order to like prevent a definite loss, and I don't even think this is going to guarantee a win for some of these people. Some of these people are going to lose anyway, but their back was against the wall. But now, LFG Dance Party, let's go, Ella, let's go, thank you. But here's what I like about this, guys. So what I like about this, though, is not even about the subsidies themselves, because we don't know if they're going to get through the Senate. And we don't know if they get through the Senate, if Trump would do something crazy like veto them. We have no idea. This may be DOA in the Senate, maybe not, right? Of course, those Republican effers are cowards. They are indeed, Larson. They are. But here's what I like, guys, right? What I like is this, okay? This is what I like, right? Okay? This is what I like right here, is the fact that it was another discharge petition, okay? So, dude, stop the stupidity. Let's go. Right? So, the thing that was great about this is this harkens, guys. We had some people in here yesterday, and we always have some people in here who are complaining, oh, I hate the Democrats. The Democrats aren't doing anything. But guys, the Democrats have a minority in the House, and they literally just passed a bill that defends health care, okay? And now they're going to force it into the Senate, where if the senators want to kill this thing, they're going to have to go on the record, or maybe they pass it, maybe Trump vetoes it. But dude, the minority party just passed this thing, okay? And that's a big deal because it's fucking embarrassing. Trump and his cronies have been talking for months about, Obamacare, subsidizing insurance companies, the healthcare premiums are going up. They're like oblivious to this. And the Democrats are literally getting shit passed. This House has had a record low output, and part of the only meaningful shit that is getting passed is shit that the Democrats are forcing through a discharge petition, right? So this, again, shows you how weak Mike Johnson is. It shows you how feckless and weak Donald Trump is, that his own caucus is voting against him, and there is no consistent message, and this is happening entering into an election year, okay? So this is I think this is a great win. No matter what happens from here, this is a great win because it's showing that the Democrats are fucking scratching and scrimping and duking it out, even without being in the majority. And dude, I love that. Tiny Johnson, dude, MAGA Mike, bro, he is the worst fucking speaker. Dude, think about MAGA Mike, dude. He is the worst House Speaker I have ever seen in my entire fucking life, dude. Dude, Epstein passed 479 to 1, dude. Like, you know what I mean? And I mean, Mike was just like unable to do anything about it. And now the Obamacare subsidies pass, and he just looks like a fucking idiot. Dude, he does. He just looks like an idiot, bro. Like, you know what I can't stop thinking about is this quote. You remember this interview from like, I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago, but like, let me show you this. Dude, this one. Dude, right here. This one where he's like, I have not lost the house. Right? Where's that interview? Where he's getting... Where is it? Dude. Dude. Oh, shit. He was like getting... Let me see if we can find it. He was like, they were interviewing him. Right here.
It's had some intense fellowship. It's all good. Look, we're working through very complex issues, as we do here all the time. It's good. Everybody's working towards ideas, keeping the productive conversation going. That's what happens.
Have you lost control of the House?
I have not lost control.
Because this is the third time.
There are look, we have the smallest majority in U.S. history.
Oh,
these are not.
Oh, the tiny majority. I have not lost control of the House.
There are processes and procedures in the House that are less frequently used when there are larger majorities. And when you have the luxury of having 10 or 15 people who disagree on something, you don't have to deal with it.
Dude.
But when you have a razor-thin margin, as we do,
so good. Dude.
There are processes in U.S. history.
Have you lost control of the House?
I have not lost control.
I have not lost control of the House. Dude, homie lost control of the House, bro. He has no control. Dude, he has no control. Dude, the only thing he controls is like the ability to change Donald Trump's diaper. That is it. He is the most ineffectual, his son's phone is probably pinging off the hook today, dude, with the vote today. This guy, what a feckless dude, right? The worst speaker, but with the best grinder profile. You said it, Wildcard. I'm not going to argue with that. That is 100% accurate, right? His grinder profile is right up there with Benny's. Can't understand how those in the culty mentality cannot understand this is going to hurt them more than the blue states. Let's go. Dude, Shy, thank you, boss. Yeah, I mean, guys, I'll be honest. I think in most instances, the Republicans, they kind of feel like they can just default to racism and it will work for them. Has he ever had control of anything ever? Dude, stop stupidity. I don't know that he has, right? I mean, let's be honest, okay? The only reason why he got this job is because, I feel like the only reason he got this job is because he was going to be a complete and total extension of Trump's, bidding, right? He's just going to be a little Trump sniff, like all the way through. But his son's phone is like pinging right now, dude. Absolutely fucking pinging, boss. His son's phone is going off squeaker of the house. That is a good one. Dude, I love that quote, though.
Lost control of the House.
I have not lost control.
I have not lost control of the House. But again, guys, I know that we in the Democratic Party have a general consensus of dislike for Hakeem Jeffries. I think all of us are sort of like, yeah, just not really like, jazzed about the guy. But one of the things I want to point out is this kind of shit would not be happening in a Hakeem Jeffries run house. Okay? Right? That is factual. And as much as I don't like Hakeem Jeffries, okay, I don't like the guy. He does not excite me at all. But at least I know that he's never going to put us in this kind of a situation. Okay. And that's important. That's important, guys, because this is bad political capital, guys. Okay. I mean, here they are. They're going into an election year and they can't even agree on the most basic fucking legislation, dude. Stop stupidity, puppet politician. Yes. You know, and this is really bad politics. Okay. Really terrible, man. Fucking just clownery, boss. Just clownery. Dude, did you see 𝗙𝗵𝗪𝗓𝗍𝗻 though? You got to see this. Bro, I have such mixed feelings about this guy, okay? Because I hate his hand motions, right? It's this clip of him talking with Schumer, right? Is this one. Where is it? His hand motions, bro. Like, what is he fucking doing, dude? When he was talking about Renee Nicole Good, okay? His hand motions are so fucking crazy. Oh yeah, this one. All right? This one right here. Dude, watch his hand motions. Okay? Watch his fucking hand motions here.
The killing of Renee Nicole Good was an abomination, a disgrace. And blood is clearly on the hands of those individuals within the administration who've been pushing an extreme policy that has nothing to do with immigration enforcement connected to removing violent felons from this country. We support the removal of violent felons from this country who are here illegally. But that's not what this administration has been doing under the so-called leadership of Kristi Noem, who's a stone-cold liar.
See, dude, I hate the hand motions, but like, this is actually, he's saying some decent shit here. Okay. Yeah. His hand motions are so annoying, but the substance of what he's saying is actually pretty good here. He laying it out on the line, right? And putting down some good sound bites of you know, about Kristi Noem and shit.
There's no evidence at all that this was a justified shooting. So let's deal with the tragedy right now. She hasn't even been buried.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, while he's also doing this, he's dodging some bigger questions about abolishing ICE and shit like that, which is problematic. But I've developed a new policy, guys. You ready for this? Now listen to me. And we are going into an election year, okay? So let me explain how I'm going to be during this year. I'm going to give credit where credit is due, okay? Which is, there were a number of things about this speech that I thought were essential that absolutely needed to be said, okay? One was the call out of Kristi Noem, stone cold liar, which is absolutely true, okay? And not mincing words, not saying that, ooh, there was some situation or they're not trustworthy, just straight calling her out. Okay, that one thing was actually super beneficial. Okay, now the other thing that I like here, you ready, is the part he said about the immigration. Okay, because he made a very clear point about how Democrats are fine with deporting violent criminals. Okay, now this is really important. Because part of this Republican game is that the Democrats are supporting the violent criminals. The Democrats are opening the borders. We're just ushering people in. But I think that line on the record there of being very clear that, no, we're fine with deporting like violent criminals. We have no issue with that. But the problem is Trump said his immigration was going to do this. And now you're shooting U.S. citizens. You're engaged in like arresting U.S. citizens. I think some of this stuff is really important. We need more Democrats that are speaking up about that stuff and not simply ignoring the Republican narrative. Okay? Right? You know what I mean? I mean, we do have to speak out on some of these Republican narratives that they just try to drill over and over and over and over again. Okay? So, as much as I hate the fucking hand motions, and he won't go on the record talking about abolishing ICE, I do like the fact that he has been a little more vocal than usual in an aggressive manner, okay? And I'm going to appreciate that, okay? And I'm going to do this with some of these legislators that were stuck, that we're sort of stuck with. No AIPAC funded candidates. Yeah, see, Nick, I think that's a great goal, but I'm telling you right now, there's still going to be some AIPAC candidates in the Democratic Party for a little while, and you're going to just have to live with that for a little bit. I think it's going to take several more years to eradicate that scenario, but it is coming, okay? AIPAC is slowly getting a bad name, but you do have to realize 2026 is going to roll through, and there still are going to be there's going to be some Democrats that are still funded by AIPAC, okay? And we're going to have to bite the bullet on that one for a little while in order to fucking kick MAGA. I know it's unfortunate, but I'm curious though. I'm curious to see what's going to go on with Jeffries in the next election cycle and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. The tide is turning. There was another piece, guys. There was another piece that happened, right? That happened today, okay? That I thought was really interesting. We can't purity test. We have to win. Yes. So here's a scoop. One flew over. Is guys, and thank you, Stop the Stupidity. Guys, here's my deal. I am fine with purity testing in one instance. Jared Moskowitz roasted Noam today. Dude, let's see the clip. Ella, put the clip in Discord. I want to see that. He tries to speak kin-Obama-cade. Dude, HBD, EP, and DB. All right? Dude, he does try to speak like Obama-like, Kathy. So does Josh Shapiro. But, dude, did we just shout out at HBD? Or we have some birthdays? Do we have some birthdays there? So what I want to say about the other thing that happened today. So well, let me finish my thought about Hakeem Jeffries. I am going to be giving credit where credit is due during the election year. Okay. Every time we have somebody, even if I don't like them and they speak up and they're saying something good, I'm giving the credit. Okay, dude, yeah, I don't like those hand gestures at all. They really annoy me. But, you know, it's his thing. Everybody's got their whatever. You know, you got accordion hands. You got Hakeem Jeffries hands, right? Where he's like doing air traffic control or some shit, right? Dude, doesn't that seem like, did his previous job, was he a fucking one of those fucking runway guys with the glow sticks out there? That's what he looks like. But dude, he's ponying up a little bit. And now, okay, now listen to me. Here's part of the reason why I'm mentioning this. It's in the Discord, boss. All right, let's go, Ella. Part of the reason why I want to mention this, guys, is because we've been seeing a little bit of a coalition of middle and left wingers. Okay, we first saw it with Kathy Hochul joining Mamdani. Okay, then we saw Hakeem Jeffries coming in at the last minute, endorsing Mamdani. And then we saw AOC and Zohran Mamdani endorsing Hakeem as speaker. So we know that they decided to cover onto him. They're standing behind Hakeem, which I actually think it's a good call, because I don't think there's anyone right now in the Democratic coalition that could do a more effective job as the House Speaker. Okay, I think he's going to be very effective. Whether we like him or not, whether we agree with him or not, he will be effective as the speaker. But here's what I noticed is he's being a little ballsier, a little more aggressive with some of his statements. And I feel like that is a result of his coalition with AOC and Mamdani. And then the reason why I'm talking about this is because of what else happened today. Dude, stop stupidity. Let's go. Because you know what else happened today, guys, is this. Okay? Do you see this shit? Look at this, guys. Right here. Okay? Look at this shit. Okay? Her press office was burning Nick Shirley. But dude, look at that. Hlaƙ Mamdani childcare. Okay? Hlaƙ Mamdani childcare. Okay? People from the middle and people from the left, guys, can work together when it is politically expedient and when you have the right people in there winning. Okay, why is this happening? Because Mamdani won, okay? If Mamdani just sat there, right, and fucking talked shit about everybody, you know what I'm saying? If Mamdani just sort of like complained and fucking, you know, cried about shit, we wouldn't be here. He had to win, okay? He had to win. But this is big, guys. Okay, this is big. Now, we want to see how they're going to pull this off because part of this is also Kathy Hochul has agreed to support preschool for universal preschool in New York City. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Right? And Iris, you say AOC, Jamie Raskin, and Robert Garcia all would be better than Hakeem. No, I don't think so. Right? I think it would be it could be very challenging for AOC to get support from some of the more conservative Democratic things. See, what you got to understand, Iris, is the speaker's job isn't to be a feisty firebrand of your party. The speaker's job is somebody who can get all the factions of the House agreeing, okay? And make sure everybody right. And that is where somebody like Hakeem Jeffries actually excels. Okay. Where somebody like AOC, she's a firebrand. So sometimes she's going to have parts of the coalition that are very much against her and against the things they say. And so they might vote against her shit just because they don't like her being a firebrand. Right? So you don't want the speaker to be your firebrand. You want the speaker to be the deal maker. Okay? It's really important to understand the firebrands are not the speakers. They're the ones that are out there doing the social media. They're the ones pulling the party to the left. Okay? And somebody who's pulling the party to the left is not going to be the person pulling the coalition together for votes. And that's the thing that we got to realize is there are different roles for different kinds of people. You know what I mean? Your strategy is pragmatic and forward thinking. Yeah, James, see, my strategy is about fucking winning, bro. And about getting shit done. You know what I mean? And the firebrands are the most important people of the party for sure. Stop stupidity. Let's go. But I don't think they're the ones necessarily to be in the speaker roles, okay? You know, I mean, sometimes you have both. Sad troll, let's go. Sad troll noises, amuse. Thank you, JD. Sometimes you have somebody like Pelosi who is a little bit of both, right? Snow puppies reluctantly walk away from America. Let's go, Sam. But the thing about AOC is AOC is a powerful, one of the best speakers, definitely the best social media person, I think one of the best in all of the Democratic Party right now. But a lot of conservative Democrats, stop stupidity, let's go. They don't like her, okay? There are some people in the Democratic coalition that don't like her at all. And if she were the speaker, those people would be able to use their dislike of her in order to try to like railroad her. You know what I'm saying? Right? And so yeah, I don't think of her necessarily now as a speaker at all. You know what I'm saying? I think somebody more in the center is just better for that job. You know, AOC is the person who's out there like forcing the change, you know? You know what I'm saying? She's annoying to you for some reason. Who is tall chick? Right? Right? And Tommy, that's the precise reason why those Democrats need to go. But DPD, the thing about this though is some of those Democrats that don't like AOC, they can't go because they're in purple districts, boss. If those Democrats go, they're going to be won by Republicans. Like, that's what you guys don't understand. It seems like some of you don't realize that some of the Democratic districts are not going to be won by progressives. If they're not won by conservative Democrats, they're going to be won by Republicans until we see some progressive Democrats winning purple districts, right? I mean, eventually, if we see that, it'll change, but we haven't seen that yet. You know what I mean? We haven't seen that yet. And it's even like a classic, like 𝗤𝗏, okay? I don't like 𝗤𝗏. And every time Midas Touch has him on there, I'm like, bro, this guy cannot be the main speaker of our party. But dude, he won George Santos's district. Would I rather have 𝗤𝗏 like being a numbnuts in our party or George Santos in that seat? I'll take 𝗤𝗏 all day, okay? I will. Even if we have to like give in a little bit, even if we have to move slower a little bit, it's still better than not, right? And it's still better than not, better than George Santos, right? That'll change if Mamdani is successful. So it could, right? Absolutely one flew over. Like, let me give you my idea. You ready? Here's my idea. Because right now, guys, what is the biggest problem with the progressive movement in America right now? I'm going to pose you a question, okay? Hakeem's job isn't to fire up the base. His job is to turn red districts purple and purple districts blue. Yes, Freddie. Yes, thank you, Freddie. You get it. Freddie gets it. Okay, yes. Like Hakeem's job is to get more districts and to make sure everybody holds their districts. But so what is the number one problem with progressives in America? There is a problem, a number one problem. And I can tell you what it is, guys. I'm going to see. You say we don't vote enough. That's our problem. That could be a little of a problem. But you know what it is, guys? The number one problem is they don't win. Okay? That's it. They don't win. Right? That's it. If they were winning more, I mean, they will win in New York. They will win in certain parts. I mean, they're not even winning in some of the like purple states. Okay. And this is not a slam on progressives. Baby steps, universal child care in New York City, Gary, New York, game changer. Yes, Larson. But the problem is, and there's a number of problems for that. Some of it is they don't have enough money. Some of it is AIPAC. Some of it is poor messaging. Some of it is perception. They haven't been able to spin the negativity and shit. But I think, what I think it is, guys? I think part of it is this. And no, we're not bad. Part of it is this. Part of it is they haven't figured out a way to sell their message to the purple district. Okay? It's a challenge. It is like there are certain things involved with selling. Like, for example, I love Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders knows how to sell his message to white rural America. However, Bernie Sanders couldn't sell his message to black Southerners. Okay? And so Bernie couldn't fucking get that nom. Okay, he was stymied by the fact that he couldn't sell his message to both those parties. Now, in Congress, in the House, you don't have to do that. To be a president, you have to try to win both. Okay, but in a House district, you can win just a white rural area. And so we do need some more progressives who can sell a progressive message in a purple district, okay? Magnolia says, AOC wakes up the parties. Hakeem motivates the party to stay and turn blue. Thank you, boss. You're welcome. Thank you. Let's go. Dude, Magnolia girl. Oh, shit. Going crazy, dude. Let's get some Trumpy in there. Dude, thank you, guys. We got people bringing the big pimpin' donos tonight. Let's go. Dude, that shit is crazy. Right? But so we're going to get there, okay? Now here's my thing is I think if Mamdani is successful, even a little bit, I think it's going to help progressives win in different areas of the country, okay? The problem is progressives are up against corporate Dems and all Republicans and the millions they get. That's true. There is definitely some of that. You know what I'm saying? Stop stupidity. There is definitely some of that. And sometimes it is the corporate Dems and sometimes it is like AIPAC funded shit. There is definitely some of that. But some of it, though, too, is messaging. Because the thing is, you ready? As we saw with Zohran Mamdani, if you're going to beat the corporate Dems, if you're going to beat the old school party people, if you're going to beat that AIPAC money, you have to be shrewd and creative and grassroots. And you have to be able to build it, right? If you're just a candidate who needs the most money, then no, you're never going to beat the candidates with the most money. But if you are a creative messenger, the problem, guys, you ready for this? I hate to say this, and I'm not trying to slam the progressive movement because I consider myself to be a progressive. But I think the real problem is most progressives are just talkers, okay? It's like the pundits are progressive. The political commentators are progressive. And a lot of the people that hang out in political chats are progressive, but a lot of the candidates are not. Okay, the people talk about being progressives, but they don't actually run. And they always say, well, you can't beat the corporate money. They have this defeatist, like, I can't beat it, instead of them just saying, like, oh, fuck, I'm going to beat the corporate money, right? Like Zoran did, and they tailor their campaign to what the people need in that area. I mean, when you're running for a House district, it's 700,000 people. It's not even like the whole state. You just have to win one pocket of people. But if you don't have money, you have to be creative. You have to be a fighter. You have to be somebody who's got some pizzazz with video and with Twitter and with social media. And you have to find a way to message and get that message to become viral. And you have to go door to door, right? You have to sort of build a coalition of all the different people in your district. I mean, it can be done. A Lieberman-style centrist can win here in the South. Would people see that Dems can govern way better than more doors open, baby steps? Yeah, BJ, that's true too, right? That's true too. See, I think Mamdani, I think this is big, guys. Okay, you ready? You know why this is big? Ready? Listen to me here. Right? Why don't I run? I may very well, Nurse Joy, right? I may very well one day run. But I currently like my political, I like what I'm doing with this channel at the moment. And if the opportunity presents itself, I may run, right? I'm thinking maybe about running against Ron Wyden in 2028. I've put that out to the universe and we'll see if I get any pullback, right? But this I think is big, right? Right here, this I think is huge because this is a not incredibly leftist Kathy Hochul, right? She's a Democrat, but she's not a fucking, she's not AOC, but dude, she is now like, that's socialism, boss. Okay. That's big. Okay. That's a fucking big deal right here. This is as big as Gavin Newsom saying, I'm not taking any AIPAC money if I run for president. Right? And again, regardless of whether Gavin Newsom runs or doesn't run or whatever, right? If he runs and he loses or he runs and he wins the primary, the fact that he is saying no AIPAC money while running for president, that is putting a stamp of AIPAC money toxic that will proliferate, okay? And Kathy Hochul, like agreeing to do some socialism with Zohran Mamdani is going to proliferate, okay? You know what I'm saying? Speak to reaching non-white male Dem voters who are anti-gay and anti-trans, not acceptable, but we need their votes. Yeah, so, I mean, I really don't know what to do there, boss, right? I'm not sure how to reach those people. I wish I had an answer for you, Joe, but I don't have an answer for you. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about that is you can't join the messaging and you can't, like, abandon the people. You know what I'm saying? So I really have no answer for that sort of thing, right? Because that's tricky, because the thing is, you know, I mean, you can look at what Spanberger did in Virginia, okay, where she just sort of stonewalled all those questions, right? And she stonewalled those questions, and she basically just said, I'm leaving that to the localities. Like, every school should determine their policies on those issues. That should be a completely local issue. And that worked for her in Virginia, right? You have somebody like Gavin Newsom who had Charlie Kirk on his show, and he buttered him up and tried to extract information from him. And he like played friendly with Charlie in a way where he didn't agree with Charlie, but he's sort of like, oh, I sort of understand why you might think that way. And he did that sort of thing. So Charlie was really nice to him. And I know Gavin Newsom was doing that in order to gain inroads with some of those people. And now you have people like that clavicular guy who's like calling Gavin a Chad and like all loving him. So, but dude, that is just not an easy, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about how you like speak to them, because here's the problem, guys. The problem is some of those voters are just going to be unreachable, okay? Because if you have a really anti-gay, what is an even anti-gay like male Democrat? I'm not even sure what that looks like. I don't know any anti-gay male Democrats. I know you said like male Democrats that are anti-gay and anti-trans, but I don't know anybody like that. I've never met anybody like personally that is a Democrat that is also anti-gay and anti-trans. I know you specifically mentioned people that weren't white, like people of color, but like, I don't think those people are Democrats. I think those people may have voted Democrat if there was a black president, or they may have voted Democrat if they like the vibes of the Democrat and don't like their Republican option. But I don't really see how like anti-gay and anti-trans people are ever voting for the Democratic Party, because the right-wing programming has been so staunchly like that, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think, you ready for this? I don't think we go after those people. That's my thought. My thought is fuck them. Okay? That's my personal thought is fuck them and let them do what they're going to do. I think you have to look for the active parts of your party rather than try to convert some fringe group, because I'm not going to butter up to anti-gay and anti-trans people. And I don't think the Dems should do that. I think that is a losing strategy. So fuck them. That's my suggestion, how we message to them. Fuck them. This is how we lose? No, it's not how we lose. I disagree, man. I disagree, right? And if somebody else has a better idea, they can incorporate that idea. But I think you have to have human rights, right? I think you have to have human rights be central to the Democratic core, right? Seriously. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's like, guys, you ready? That's like saying, how do we win these anti-black people, right? Would you say that? Would you say, hey, man, there's a bunch of like anti-black people in the South. We really need to win them over, right? These independents that like hate black people. No, we wouldn't try to win them over. We'd say, fuck that. A huge part of our coalition, a dedicated part, are black people. And so we're going to defend them and we're going to protect them, right? I think it's a stupid issue, right? Yeah, I think you've raised a stupid issue, boss, right? That's what I think. Fuck that, right? Dude, I'm serious. I think that's a stupid issue. I think the LGBTQ and black people and immigrants and people of color need to be defended and protected. And if people aren't going to do that, then fuck them, okay? And seriously, I think there are millions of people in America that are willing to defend human beings' civil rights, okay? And if you don't, right? If you don't agree with that, then fine, you vote for Republicans and kiss my fucking ass, okay? Seriously, right? Right? That's my philosophy. I think you have to be humanity first, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's just my take. And if other people disagree with me, they can do whatever the fuck they want. But like, dude, I just don't believe there are any Democrats that are anti-trans, okay? I don't believe that there are Democrats that are anti-trans. I think if anybody's anti-trans and they voted Democrat, they're just voting Democrat for some other reason. But they are not actually part of the Democratic coalition, right? Dude, let's go. Dude, let's go, boss. Gavin Newsom throws trans people under the bus. I don't think that either. Like 𝗙ecie, here's what I have heard from Gavin Newsom, okay? What I have heard from Gavin Newsom is this, is that he understands that there is a segment of the population that is fearful about transgender athletes, whether they're right or wrong, or whether it's an issue to die for or not die for. He acknowledges that the Republicans have been very successful with the men and women sports tagline because people are afraid, okay? Now, that doesn't mean he's going to, abolish trans people, and that doesn't mean he's going to, take on that, we got to get men out of women's sports or that bullshit. I think what he wants to do is I think he wants to figure out a way to allow them to have their fears and to still try to solve the problem anyway, okay? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, is like that is one of those things where even the people, there are some people that get triggered by the men and women's sports line that aren't even anti-trans, okay? They just hear that line and they think that people are trying to hurt their kids. And so I think we need to unpack that propaganda point and we need to turn it into a larger, like we need to separate issues of human rights from Republican scare tactics, okay? Because you may have noticed, guys, that Republicans don't talk about the issues. Republicans talk about PR statements, okay? Right? Like Republicans don't talk about transgender issues. They say men and women's sports. But there aren't any men and women's sports. Nobody wants men and women's sports, right? You're trying to say men and women's sports to scare people into turning away while you shit on trans people. But I think, they're not even talking about trans issues. They're just using a fear point to get people to distrust the Democratic Party. And so Gavin Newsom actually passed a lot of legislation and did a lot of things to protect all manner of LGBTQ people. But he is very well aware that that fear of like, ooh, we got to protect our daughters, that fear, I mean, because the reality, guys, is your daughters have no worries about men and women's sports. They have worries about a college Republican raping them, okay? I mean, that's the real worry. Your daughter's going to get raped by a Trump voter in college, like most likely, you know? And that's the real worry. But they're like, oh, men and women's sports, men and women's sports. But that is just fear-mongering for them to distrust the Democrats, okay? And I think Gavin Newsom recognizes that. And I think he wants to like figure out a way to be able to take issues to the people that are affected by that fear, okay? Because I have never seen Gavin Newsom like trash on trans people. The only thing I have seen him do is I have seen him when somebody says, like, I'm worried about men and women's sports, or the transgender people are beating up the girls, and he'll say something like, I understand your fear, okay? Like I can see that you're afraid of that, or like, yeah, I understand that is like something you're worried about, right? Which I mean, a lot of people are worried about that, even though it's not a rational worry, you know? And so like, I don't know. It's going to be intriguing to see what shakes out if he runs for president. Like, I'm pretty sure he is, right? And yeah, no, the boxer was a woman, but like, you know, the boxer is suing some people. I mean, dude, yeah, it's really crazy. But see, that's the problem though, guys, is Democrats run on issues, Republicans run on sound bites, okay, that generate fear. And yes, I think like Gavin Newsom acknowledges their fears, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, okay? Like, I think understanding that a lot of people are afraid that like transgender rights are going to mean all of their daughters are going to get dominated in sports. That's not going to happen, and it's not reality, but a lot of people are afraid it's going to happen. And so you do have to address their fear. You can't just tell them like your fears are irrational, because then they're going to get triggered and they're going to hate you, and now they're going to fucking rebel and probably just try to hurt you because you basically told them that their fears aren't legitimate. So the thing is this comes down to one of those things where you have to figure out the root of their fear so you can hear it and address their fear while still defending the actual issue, which is that, like, you know, this isn't the greatest danger of their daughter, right? You know what I'm saying? And I think you can have trans rights and have transgender people in sports too. I think you just have to figure out a set of guidelines, and you have to figure out a system that makes it so everybody feels like they're not being cheated. I mean, because guys, you may have noticed that this is the number one issue that we have in the Democratic Party is when you have a coalition of people that are different, it's like, how do you get it so nobody feels overly cheated? Okay? You know what I'm saying? Where nobody feels overly cheated. Okay? And that's what's really complicated in the Democratic coalition. It is. Okay? Because, you know, like some economic policies are going to protect white people, but black people are going to get horribly cheated by them, okay? And then some policies will help everybody, but the white people think if the black people are being helped, they're being cheated, right? Because of this like internal sort of racial fears that we have. So you like, it's like getting everybody to feel like they're not being overly cheated is part of the dance. You know what I'm saying? Trans athletes do need well, there's not enough trans athletes for their own division, right? I mean, the problem of trans athletes, and there's not a problem with the athletes themselves. The problem with trans competition is that the most effective way to do trans competition is to let young people transition early so they're not going through puberty as the other sex, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a trans girl, you don't want her to go through boy puberty, okay? But the religious zealots that want to just shut out transgender people don't want the trans person to be able to, like, avoid going through puberty at all, which is why the trans sports thing is really a disingenuous argument. Because you could fix it by saying, okay, trans athletes have to be on hormones for, 2 years or 3 years. They have to have already started this transition. They can't have gone through the opposite gender's puberty. And then the problem would be solved. You would have these similar hormone levels. But the problem is the people who say this men and women sports shit, they really just want no trans kids transitioning. So they don't want to let kids like have the hormones and start transitioning at a young age. Okay? They don't. They want to prevent trans people from transitioning at all. So it's like a disingenuous argument, right? That's what's so frustrating about it is, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? That is what is super disingenuous about it, because it's not their real argument, And so, I mean, it's just going to take a lot more time to work that one out, okay? It is. It's going to take some time. But guys, we do have to keep in perspective, okay, that, like, think about this. You ready for this, guys? I want to throw some numbers at you. And don't get mad at me because I'm not abandoning anyone here. I like to be realistic. So Stonewall happened Stonewall was in 1969, the year of my birth, guys. Gay marriage, okay, was in 2015, okay? Right? So, hold on here. Gay marriage was it was 2015, wasn't it? Yes. Okay, 2015, which meant 45 years from Stonewall, right? 45 years from Stonewall to gay marriage, okay? Transgender rights, okay, like really are just now coming to the forefront. And there's already a trans woman in Congress. They've gone so rapidly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even seeing transgender people living more comfortably out here, right? And I know Bingewood. I know they've been active the whole time, but they never got addressed. You know what I'm saying? Like they were still in the shadows, even though they were the leaders of the movement. They were the sex workers, and they were the poorest, couldn't hold jobs. You know what I'm saying? And now we have transgender people in Congress, in state houses, and in Portland. I have seen them, transgender people living more openly, at a wild rate compared to even 10 years ago. Okay. So I think there's a lot, there's a long way to go in that vein. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think after gay marriage happened, we thought everything was just going to unfold. And unfortunately, it's taken a lot longer, right? It is. It's like religion. I mean, religion is the problem. Dude, Neil deGrasse Tyson is MAGA. Dude, let's go. Dude, you're 59. Let's go. Vetoed. Your governor, Laura Kelly, has vetoed so many anti-trans laws. Let's go, dude. I love it. Man. Dude, people need to stop answering Nancy Mace's rage-baiting "what is a woman" question, just refuse to answer. No, I think they have to spin it. I think people have to spin that question to the point of where Nancy stops asking it. Okay? That is the thing, guys. Okay? That is like you the thing about the anti-trans thing with Nancy Mace is you have to spin it to where she will no longer want to answer that question, right? She's going to ask it as long as people like try to avoid it. And but the way Muriel Bowser slapped it in her face, she'll never ask Muriel Bowser again, what is a woman, ever. You know what I'm saying? Ever. She will never ask that woman that question again because Muriel Bowser made her look like a fucking idiot for asking it, right? But all right, so we're gonna move on though. But guys, I think this right here, okay? This is very important, guys. You gotta I'm trying to foster some of this mentality because we're going into an election year. And I know that what's going to happen is people that are upset that they're still APAC candidates and people that are upset that there's still, centrist Dems and corporate Dems, people are going to be mad. Okay. People are going to be mad that they're not getting exactly what they want. And I think though, you got to realize the wins that are happening. Okay. We got to realize the wins that are happening. And this is huge, dude. Because look at this. Cat turd. Fucking look at all these guys. New York will be bankrupt in 5 years. Dude, these guys are all so torqued, dude. Worked out great for Minnesota. Blah, 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 dude, right? Oh, man, boss. They are so torqued. Look at this. Isn't this crazy? Why are the Republicans, the supposedly pro-life party, the people that say you need to have more kids, and they're mad that there's going to be universal child care? How? Really? You know what I'm saying? Dude, yeah, no, Neil deGrasse Tyson is not MAGA. But, right? Isn't that crazy that, all of these shitters are upset? The pro-family, pro-kids party? Dude, Cat Turd? Dude, Cat Turd's never going to have kids. Have you looked at him? Look at this guy, dude. This guy ain't ever having kids. Nobody's going to fuck this guy. Give me a fucking break, dude. Dude, this guy has to pay for sex, boss. And there's nothing wrong with paying for sex, right? Sometimes you pay for sex just because you don't want to deal with any of the, the relational stuff. And you just want to, have the physical act of it. But this guy has to pay for sex. The only way this guy is ever having sex is if it pulls out the wallet, dude. That's it. Dude, I got my favorite picture, though. You ready? Let me show you, dude, my cat turd. Dude, I have the picture, dude. Look at this one. Look at that, dude. Dude, isn't that funny? Oh, dude, I love that, bro. Oh, shit, dude. Isn't that funny? Dude. This is digitally edited, right? They, somebody took and gave him 2 foot long legs. Dude, but I just think it's so funny. Dude, isn't that funny? That's my favorite cat turd photo, boss. Oh, shit, dude. Oh, my God. All right. So, yeah, let's take a look at, again, guys, in closing about this, I think this is huge. I think this is already already. Okay? This is the Trump effect, guys. This is why I know we're going to go through hell. I know we're going to have to survive ICE. I know some people are going to die. Like, and institutions are getting ground into the dirt. But this is from a Trump win, guys. A Trump win is launching us into such fucking hell that people that normally wouldn't come together are colluding to bring sensible programs that will benefit people. Okay? And right, you know what I mean? I think this is a big deal. You know what I'm saying? You don't always agree with me, but I made excellent points in the past 30 minutes. All right, good. I mean, guys, I try to be a little pragmatic with my politics. Like, I have like the dream and the goal, but I also try to like structure that inside the framework of being able to achieve, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can have the loftiest goal of, I want to achieve this, but if you can't put it in a framework of what you can actually get done, then you're just sort of dreaming with no actual like progress. And so even with me, when I'm like, if I'm going to switch, like when I became a Fortnite streamer or whatever, that was a pretty random change at 50 to start streaming Fortnite, but I had to be realistic about, how can I put this in a framework of something that I can actually do? You know what I mean? And this is just, I thought the 𝗣𝗙𝗆𝗆 Zohran Mamdani like coalition, when she endorsed him and became like his fan and was like speaking at his opening ups, I was like, dude, that is like one of the greatest things I've seen for the future of the Democratic Party. Like wild. Like that's what we need, right? And it's funny too, I didn't even hate it when they endorsed Hakeem for speaker, because I was like, okay, maybe we're going to stop fighting enough to actually get some shit done. Okay? Because we have had a problem in our government of like the leftist governing people fighting against the centrist governing people, and they're just cucking each other the whole time. And Mamdani does have some strange magic. He really does. And you know why? It's because he's fucking like, it's like he keeps his shit rooted in genuine caring. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's genuine caring. Like, I don't know. I feel like he really does love New York. You know what I mean? He really does. He cares about like the people in New York. He'll go hang out with any of them, with all of them. He'll hang out with his worst enemy and go like talk to them and fucking, try to like find some sort of common ground so he can achieve what he wants to do. I think he wants to win, right? You know what I mean? Like he wants to actually win childcare, and he knew he needed fucking, 𝗣𝗙𝗆𝗆, like the way the tax structure is set up, right? Same with the free buses. Okay. He's not going to get free buses in New York City without 𝗣𝗙𝗆𝗆, right? And so he had to win 𝗣𝗙𝗆𝗆. And this is that shit, guys, that I've talked about like the levers of power, that, and I think more progressives and more socialists need to follow his lead, because you can't just walk around saying, fuck the Democratic Party, fuck the establishment Dems, fuck everybody. I mean, you can, but you're never going to get shit that way. Like, they are established for a reason. They've worked for 150 years establishing a framework and shit. And it's like they have a lot of power. And you don't have to agree with the power, and you can have different kinds of power, but you're not going to get power on the left without using part of their mechanism. You know what I'm saying? Like you need them, right? And I think they need us too, right? And I think they're starting to realize that with these losses against Trump, But yes, no, it's true, right? Like, all trans people are not good, and all gay people are not good, and all straight people are not good. Like there's good and bad people of every stripe, right? What was Jessie the Body Ventura's comments? Dude, that guy's an idiot, bro. Again, if they're against abolishing ICE, they should be voted out. Establishment needs to be removed. Yeah, well, no, I disagree, right? The establishment is never going to be removed. There's always going to be an establishment. Like, that's silly of you to say because, you know, oh my, you say the establishment needs to be removed. It would just be replaced. There's always an establishment. If there was no corporate Democrat establishment, if it was just far left socialists controlled everything, they would be the fucking establishment, right? And they would be doing a whole bunch of shit we wouldn't like, right? And then there'd be people fighting them. Like there's never a fucking, right? There's always an establishment. It's not the establishment. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, okay, 𝗙𝗏 is the establishment for socialism. Okay, he's literally, right? He is literally like the socialist movement. He is the establishment. He is the primary voice. He has all the power. He has all the money of that movement. He is like, right? He is the far left establishment, and nobody's going to really rise on the far left without like having some sort of coalition with 𝗙𝗏. Okay, right? That's what the establishment is. It's literally just the dominant force that has all the power, the power. He's not really a socialist. You don't know. He's partially there. He's like the voice of like socialist leftism in America. The far left is not established. No, it's not. I mean, the far left is not establishment. But it, you know, if you go to Europe, right, the far left is the establishment in a lot of European countries, right? I mean, there's just... The establishment isn't like the most corporate. It's just who has the most power. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I mean? You know, like if you looked at, you know, if you look at political commentators, like who is the establishment of left, you know, Democratic left-wing political commentary on YouTube? It's 𝗏𝗡. Right? And why is 𝗏𝗡 the establishment? Because they have all the power. 5 years ago, when they were first starting out, they were not the establishment. TYT was. Okay? Right? You know what I mean? Or 8 years ago? Right? Now TYT is like no longer the establishment. Dude, TYT is like, dude, they don't know what the fuck they are, bro. They're like fucking scrambling. They're looking for anybody to give them. They're like spare changing. Dude, let's go. Dude, I'm the establishment of the looks maxing left. Dude, let's go. These things aren't considered radical. Like, yeah, I know. I mean, isn't it crazy though, guys, that this is considered radical? But you know what's funny though, guys? Here's what's funny, okay? What's funny is you know why this is considered you know why this is considered fucking radical in America? Okay? I'll tell you why. It's not even about like everybody wants fucking guaranteed childcare, okay? It's radical in America because of slavery, okay? Because the only time Americans pay for fucking other people's health care and other people's care is when they own them, okay? You'll do it for your kids, okay? But you're not going to do it for your neighbor's kids because then you're like, whoa, right? It's like America was built on we provide health care when it's free labor, okay? When you own the people, you'll give them free health care. So Americans are like, whoa, no. You can't take my money to give somebody else health care. That's fucking right. That's breaking the American Slavery Pact that like we don't acknowledge exists, but we act like, you know what I'm saying? Like so much of our bullshit is literally just leftovers from that slavery mentality. I mean, it's the same reason why people will defend Elon Musk having $1 trillion in wealth while there's homeless people on the street, because we still think it's okay to have a plantation owner. Okay? In America, it's still okay. That's our heritage, man. It's fucking bullshit, dude. It is. I mean, right? you know, and I mean, it is laced with capitalism because capitalism is basically slavery, right? I mean, it is. It's like it's like the field hands are getting paid, but they're not getting paid enough to survive, most of them. I mean, capitalism is about you got the owners and you got the laborers, and the only people that have wealth are the owners. The laborers don't have any wealth. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's like everything in this country is just a vestige of fucking slavery. Milwaukee, Oregon is proud of Tommy. Let's go. Dude, you're from Milwaukee? All right. Let's go crawling. We love it. Love to see it. Dude, this is big though, guys. I'm celebrating this, man. I feel like the 𝗪𝗪𝗏 coalition is like 𝗪𝗪𝗏 is going to be a good coalition, boss. Okay? It is. This is big. This is big, dude. This is, you know, how long before we see, you know, Nebraska? Okay? All right? Nebraska. Universal child care in Nebraska. That'll be a good barometer. Now, why did I pick Nebraska? Okay? Why? Because it has that split district that is always like one blue vote, but Nebraska is like not red like Kansas, where they're just completely shit on by fucking degenerate legislators. But Nebraska, there's Omaha, there's definitely some blue in Nebraska, but it is red, it's farmer red. But I feel like universal child care in Nebraska is going to be one of those places that will crack it open and spread it across the Midwest. And it's going to start, though, with like this. You know what I mean? Kansas here can confirm. Dude, Ella, can I just tell you, I played in Wichita. Oh, my God, dude. I didn't realize we nailed the goal. Like, the goal happened so fast, I've forgotten about it. Dude, capitalism needs socialist policies to survive. Indeed, it does, One Flu. But I played a show, okay, in Topeka, Kansas. And can I just tell you, Topeka, Kansas was the most depressing, like, city in all of America that I spent time in. It was, like, so crazy. So crazy. And so this was 20 years ago, okay? But it was like the young people, when I was touring music, okay, my audience was like 14 to 21, right? Mostly like 14 to 19. I was like in an emo audience, but like I played an all ages show in Topeka, and like even the kids there were like defeated. These kids are like 15 and they already had like no hope, like nothing interested them. Nothing got them really excited. It was like they just didn't like anything. And that's a sign, like when you don't like anything, when you hate everything, it's a sign of like some internal sort of desperation, some sense of like having given up, right? I mean, you develop passions from your like, the things that just fill you with light and energy and pizzazz, right? And there, the young people were already like defeated. They had the mentality of like 80-year-old burnouts, and they were like 15. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with this place? Right? Like, it's so crazy. It like made me so like, I don't know. I felt so sad for it. And then you know what happened? You ready for this? Oh my God. So my set ended up getting cut short because I was playing in this all ages club, and somebody tried to come in, and there was like a fight that ensued, and they threw them out. So what they did in the middle of my set, somebody opened the door to the club and threw a huge rock into the crowd that hit this fucking 40-year-old guy in the head and like knocked him out. And he was like, blood was gushing out of his head, and everyone went running. And I'm on the stage and I see this rock fucking flying through the door. I was like, dude, what the fuck? And where am I, bro? Oh my God. dude, it was like crazy. That was me at one point in time. Anything this Rumpo has given me a reason not to give up and fight for a better future. Let's go. Yeah, dude, Topeka was crazy, bro. Oh shit. Dude, don't go to Topeka. Or if you do, like, bring some joy. Dude, TSOL's music is good, man. Good shit. I liked them. All right, you ready? We got to look at some ice, guys. I don't want to, but yeah, this is big. Guys, this is huge. Okay? This is huge. And did you see this? Because look at this. Hochul announces universal child care is coming to New York. Okay, then Nick Shirley replied, right? Look, Zoran says, I mean, right? And look at what Nick Shirley does. He says, what did we just learn about childcare across the country? It's a great way to create fraud and launder money. Caution here. Like, dude, this Nick Shirley kid, dude, I'm already tired of this guy. Are you? Like, this kid has such a fucking ego. Like, he's all in, like, Elon's bot fucking army now. So he's, like, ratioing people, and he is so arrogant. Like, I want to see this kid get fucking metaphorically kneed right in the fucking nuts, bro. Right? But look at what Kathy Hochul's press office said. This initiative extends mainly to 2-year-olds, but intellectually you may be eligible. Dude, she fucking roasted him. Dude, I am so tired of that kid already. Dude, he's such an arrogant fucking like little shit, dude. And oh my God, she just fucking owned him like so hard, bro. Like, dude, I like Kathy Hochul, guys. I do. I know a lot of people don't, whatever. She's like a little too middle of the road, but dude, I like Kathy Hochul. Dude, she did Newsom him. Dude, I love that they have the press office accounts, right? That fucking do this crazy shit. Dude, look at this. It's amazing, right? Kathy Hochul partnering with Zoran Mamdani will unveil a plan to expand free or affordable childcare for New Yorkers across the state. And look at the image with the Joe Biden, the dark Brandon eyes. Oh, fuck, bro. So good, dude. Oh, that's good. Isn't that good? I fucking love that shit, dude. That's beautiful. Beautiful to see. Somebody said, thanks for the random Kansas tangent. Oh, shit. Let's go. Yeah, no, dude. I've been to Kansas, right? Many times. Dude, and if you've never been to Kansas, the first thing you notice is how they had like back when I was driving through there, the only food you can get on their interstates is McDonald's, right? And all the pull-offs are in the middle because you're on a toll road, right? They have a toll interstate, and then they had some deal, I guess 20 years ago. I don't know if they still do, but they had a deal with McDonald's. So there was just McDonald's food, right, in the middle of the fucking highways. And you're like trapped on the highway because you don't get off the highway. You have to go into the middle to get your food because you're on a toll road, right? It's like so weird, oppressive state. I mean, it is. It's kind of like, it's like a weird oppression, right? Dude, it was pretty wild, you know, right? Back road through Kansas. Oh, yeah, no, the small towns are like way different, but their highways are funny. They have whole shopping places between the roads. Yes. Yeah, everything's between the roads, man. Pretty crazy. And then Iowa, 20 years ago, was the first state that had wireless internet in the rest areas, boss. And that was epic. Dude, the state of Iowa, I loved Iowa because they had wireless internet, free wireless in every rest area. Okay, this was 2005, 2006. And it was cool. So you could pull into a rest area and sleep and do your tour booking, answer emails and shit. It was amazing. Iowa was on the cutting edge, boss. Iowa was the future. Yeah, and then Joni Ernst showed up. All right. Now we'll talk about ICE. I'm sorry, guys. I know you wanted to probably jump into ICE right away, but like, I saw somebody mention it, but guys, I have to put a little bit of a limiter on how much of this I cover and how I cover it because it is so fucking disgusting. Okay? It is. And what's going on like in Portland? Let's look at the right. Let's look at the Portland situation here. We have some clips to look at. Right. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got here.
Good evening, everyone.
All right, KGW, our local news. Oh, you ready? Oh, here we go. Dude. So guys, I'm going to tell you this. You ready? So I think the path to ICE, we're not going to see all the Democratic legislators say like fuck ICE. We're not. Okay, we're going to see many, but a lot of the Democratic people are not going to say anything about fuck ICE because they're in purple districts and some of their constituents are like fans of ICE. They just don't want ICE operating like this. Okay, it's infuriating to hear the BS they're doing. Yeah, it is, guys. I mean, think about this. Okay, and all of this is over immigration, which isn't even a crime, guys. Okay, immigration. Can I show you something? We have to look at fucking Aaron. Okay, posted this today. Fucking Reichland Melnick. Okay, he posted this. All right, where he got in an argument with somebody about immigration, and he said, look at this, because somebody said being an illegal immigrant automatically makes you a criminal, LOL. And he was like, as I end up debunking almost every day, this is simply not true. There is no crime of being an illegal immigrant. It's not a crime. There's no need to trust me. Here's the Supreme Court saying it. As a general rule, it is not a crime for a removable alien to remain present in the United States. Okay? If police stop someone based on nothing more than possible removability, the usual predicate for an arrest is absent, which means you can't just look at someone and think, hey, that might be an illegal, an undocumented person, so I'm going to stop them to see, right? You're not supposed to be able to arrest them for that, okay? They are like, it is not a crime, guys. And they are trying to, like, that's why people fucking being shot over this is ridiculous. Let me give you an example, okay? I'm going to give you an example of, like, let's see how the Republicans would feel if I became president and announced this, okay? Starting tomorrow, my ICE forces are going to go into every red state and they're going to start looking for people with expired vehicle registrations. And if we find you with expired vehicle registrations, we're going to send you back to your family's country of origin. Okay? Anybody out there that is caught driving a vehicle with an expired registration, we're going to we're sending you back to France or Poland or wherever you came from. You think they would like that? If I had an armed force going like car to car, checking people's vehicle registration, and anybody who had an unregistered car, we fucking ship them overseas? Dude, they would be shitting themselves, okay? You know what I'm saying? Right? Or yeah, driving without insurance. And if I sent ICE just to the red states to do this, they would be fucking freaking out. And that's essentially what they're doing. It's not enough that they're finding criminals. Oh, somebody commits a crime, they're illegal, they're undocumented. Okay, fine. Deport them, right? They commit a violent crime, deport them. Nobody cares. That's what ICE should be doing. Oh, we have an undocumented person that just committed a murder. All right. Or well, no, then they probably lock up, but just committed domestic violence. All right. We're going to go take charge of them and we're going to deport them. That's what ICE's job is supposed to be, or catching like drug traffickers and shit like that, along with other government agencies. but they're not supposed to be going door to door or hanging out in the parking lot of fucking, Home Depot and shit and arresting people like this shit, because we're about to watch this. But there's another one that I saved, guys, which is, look at this shit. You ready? Look at this fucking bullshit with ICE. Okay, where is it? Right here. Okay. This is in Minnesota, Richfield. This is another suburb of Minneapolis. You ready? Okay, Border Patrol just illegally arrested a U.S. citizen, a teenager. Okay, the teen was working at Target when agents tackled him and arrested him. Why? Because he looked Hispanic. Okay, he has his passport in his pocket that identifies him as a U.S. citizen. Didn't matter. He looked Hispanic. They arrested him anyway. When a coworker asked who to call, he said, heartbreakingly, my mom. Okay?
Hang on. What are you doing? May.
This isn't it right now. Not fucking Minneapolis. Where is
No.
else
What?
going to ask for the
Is that
fucking
your... Get on the phone. Hey, no.
shit. Where's the shit? Christian, do you have somebody you want us to call? My mom. What's her number?
Hey, all border vacations. Go to hell, dude. That's some bullshit. They have border patrol.
Chris. Dude, he's a U.S. citizen. He's Hispanic. They grab him. They drag him to the ground. He's got his fucking passport. They arrest him and take him away, boss. Okay? Like, bro, what the fuck are we doing? This is the day after they fucking shoot a woman in cold blood. And now in Portland, we have, on the outskirts of Portland, we have 2 more people getting shot.
𝗙𝗹𝗹𝗪 and 𝗙cie𝗶𝗶𝗏 here with you as we continue to follow breaking news in East Portland this evening, where federal agents have shot 2 people. This started around 2 o'clock this afternoon, we understand, near Adventist Hospital. The FBI confirming those agents are Customs and Border Protection agents. Again, 2 injured, a man and a woman. Around 2:30 in the afternoon, police responding to East Burnside. So 15 minutes later, about 3 miles to the east of that, where a man and woman, they say, were found with gunshot wounds. We understand they have survived. They have been transported to the hospital, though no word on their condition.
Right, and that is what we're working to confirm. There is a lot of information rolling in as we speak, but a lot that we do not know this evening. But we do want to take it out to our Catherine Cook right now. She is live at 102nd in Southeast Maine. Although before we get to our Catherine Cook, just in, we have a statement from the Department of Homeland Security.
And this is the first time we're potentially getting some clarity over what happened in the 2 o'clock hour.
Now, I'm like, guess what they did, though? Like, this is like the standard DHS statement, which is like they use their cars as a fucking weapon. Okay? This is like their thing. Okay? Using the car as a weapon. We're going to talk about the guy who shot fucking Renee Nicole Good in a minute, because he's got a history of this too. Yeah, there's no footage because there was no, there were no protesters. Nobody has footage of this. But of course, they're coming out with the same statement that they use every time that is always disproven. But here we go.
This is from DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin. We're reading it for the first time as well. She says, at 2:19, U.S. Border Patrol agents were conducting a targeted vehicle stop in Portland. The passenger of the vehicle and target, this is outside a medical center there, by the way, is a Venezuelan illegal alien, those are her words, affiliated with the transnational Tren de Agua prostitution ring and involved in a recent shooting in Portland.
And this statement goes on to say the vehicle driver is believed to be a member of the vicious Venezuelan gang Tren de Agua. When agents identified themselves to the vehicle occupants, the driver weaponized his vehicle and attempted to run over the law enforcement agents. And they continue, fearing for his life and safety, an agent fired a defensive shot. The driver drove off with the passenger, fleeing the scene. And of course, they say the situation is evolving as they continue the investigation.
This is the official.
Yeah, dude. It's the exact same statement as yesterday, except yesterday they said she was a radical leftist with violent rioters, and today they're like Tren de Aragua and trafficking ring and the vicious Tren de Aragua. Bro, it is like the same canned statement. This is their new thing. But can we pause here for a second, though? Because Jonathan Ross, the guy who is the ICE agent from Minnesota that shot Renee Nicole Good, okay? Jonathan Ross, back in June of 2025, got dragged in a car in a situation where, again, they were doing some work and he like stepped in front of a car and like grabbed onto a car. So what you see is they're starting to develop a habit of, you know, there are certain like officers, certain of these ICE agents where if they make some type of traffic stop, they get in front of the car, or they make it so if the person tries to drive away, they can then say, aha, you just weaponized the vehicle, okay? And so they, even though DHS says you're never supposed to get in front of a car, they are specifically doing this shit in order to then call this, oh, the ICE agents just got assaulted. Oh, they got attacked. Now it's 1,400%. Like attacks are up, right? And this is all part of their bullshit narrative. It's literally the same statement every single time. They weaponize the vehicle, yada, yada, yada. And here we go. But let's see what other information we got here.
Official account again from Homeland Security in the last few minutes saying agents shot them when they weaponized their vehicle and tried to run over the agents. Of course, 24 hours or a little over 24 hours after ICE agents shot and killed a 37-year-old woman in Minneapolis. You can understand why tensions are heightened in the Portland metro and across the country tonight. Of course, there's no word from the FBI, which is officially conducting the investigation here. Portland police also securing the scenes, but we have team coverage.
See, that's a problem too, guys. The FBI investigating, like, nah, there's no way. Like I heard Tim Walz and 𝗙ص𝗹𝗹𝗪 are right. They're trying to, in Minneapolis, they're trying to get their own investigation. So you think we're going to leave 𝗙ощ Patel to investigate this shit, right? Have Pam Bondi look into the civil rights violations? Nah, right? Pam Bondi snorting lines of Ozempic off fucking Dan Bongino's ass? No way, bro. Dude, you know that happened, right? Like Bongino, that's why he quit the FBI, because Pam Bondi made him come in every day and drop his pants and lean over her desk while she snorted lines of Ozempic off his bare ass. And he just got humiliated from having to do that every day. She'd be like, drop him, Bongo. Dude, that's the story I'm sticking to. I am certain that is why Dan Bongino quit the FBI, boss. That's it. Every day he had to go in and drop him. Dude, you can see it, can't you? Right? You can see it. I can totally picture it, boss. I can see it clear. Right? Yes, we investigated ourselves, found absolutely no wrongdoing. Dude, drop him, Bongo. And he's like, oh, all right, Pam. Dude, what are we doing?
Coverage out there tonight. Catherine Cook at Adventist Hospital, Alma, McCarty, and Blair Best on the east side, where they found the man and woman who were shot. 𝗙cie𝗶𝗪𝗪 at Legacy Emmanuel Hospital. John Adams as well on the south waterfront outside the ICE facility. By and large, we should mention before we head out to our reporters, leaders across the Portland metro, state, federal, city, condemning what's happened today, although, again, the information is just coming in and calling for peaceful protest, not violence at this point.
And with that, we'll go out to our Catherine Cook first. She is live in Southeast Portland near Adventist Hospital at 102nd Southeast Main. This, where she is right now, is where this all started at about 2:15. Catherine, give us the rundown. What have you learned?
Christine and David, a lot of folks have been waiting for that update from federal officials. Certainly folks out here wondering what happened, how they ended up here. As this comes into focus, though, still many questions remain about the choices behind those federal responses. Behind us, the FBI, you can see their mobile unit is set up as they are the lead on this investigation. With that said, Portland police is also out here. Multnomah County DA Nathan Vasquez made a stop through here just a few moments ago, again, to sort of keep boots on the ground, but also clarify that their involvement is really on the periphery. It is a federal investigation, but certainly Portland police were involved in terms of the response to those who were shot. David and Christine, as you mentioned, after the shooting here, we are told that the two people who were shot, a man and a woman, drove to 146th and East Burnside. I checked, it's 2.7 miles away from here. And at that point, Portland police responded. They rendered aid to the two people, applying a tourniquet even, and then those two people who were shot were taken to a local hospital where tonight we do not know their condition. We're waiting for that, and we're waiting for more clarity again on sort of the targeted investigation, as you say federal officials have said. That
Dude, see, this doesn't make any sense to me. Can we fight back with equal force? Let's go! Dude, I mean, I would like to, but so, hold on. I want to hear this again. This is so weird, okay? Because, like, these people are shot, but then after CBP shoots them, they just drive away and nobody chases them and they get, like, picked up miles away from there? Like, what the hell is that? How does that work, right? Like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like CBP just shot them and said, oh, whoops. All right, let's get out of here. And then, dude, I don't understand how, like, why, if they were trying to pursue them after they shot them, wouldn't they have called local authorities to go hunt them or something?
You mentioned after the shooting here, we are told that the two people who were shot, a man and a woman, drove to 146th and East Burnside. I checked, it's 2.7 miles away from here. And at that point, Portland police responded. They rendered aid to the two people, applying a tourniquet even, and then those two people who were shot were taken to a local hospital.
Okay, so they were shot on 102nd Street, and then they drove 45 blocks, right, 3 miles, and then the cops responded, presumably, like, maybe CBP called them or something. Then the cops rendered medical aid and then took them to a hospital. But, like, this is fucking bizarre, boss. The shooters were here at 102nd Street. The shooters were here. They were CBP, the same guys who tackled this dude in Target, right? Except, like, you know, here in Portland.
Where tonight we do not know their condition. We're waiting for that, and we're waiting for more clarity again on sort of the targeted investigation, as you say federal officials have said, that this was a, quote, illegal alien from Venezuela, part of a prostitution ring. Again, these are all very new pieces of information coming through at this hour, but certainly folks out here less concerned about the details of why, but more very frustrated, angry over what happened here. Again, right after what happened in Minneapolis. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson asking for people to remain calm, remain peaceful. Multiple lawmakers asking for the same thing while condemning the shooting. And certainly out here, the FBI conducting their investigation where this all started this afternoon. Back to you.
Catherine, can you just give us a sense of what you're seeing in terms of what the FBI is doing on the ground? Because Homeland Security is saying the driver of this car weaponized his vehicle. We've seen a black Hyundai sedan there behind police tape behind you. Is there any sense of how many shots were potentially fired? If there are other vehicles involved, are you seeing evidence markers, debris? Just give us a sense of what you can see and what you can't see.
Those are great questions, David. We're also very curious about that. We can't get close enough to answer those questions directly at this hour. Certainly federal agents keeping everyone at more than an arm's length away.
See, this is what's fucking weird about this, guys. Because even the reporters on scene, okay, this happened at 2 p.m. This was 5 hours ago, which is at 6. So 4 hours after this shit happens, there's like an official statement from the DHS, and then everything's cordoned off. And so 4 hours later, nobody even knows what happened. Well, we know they got shot here. We know the cops picked them up 3 miles away. They were shot. They took them to the hospital. And other than that, the FBI's here and nobody's telling us anything. And of course, the traditional 𝗙cie 𝗵𝗏𝗧𝗏 statement, which, by the way, can I just say, 𝗙cie 𝗵𝗏𝗧𝗏, our little DHS woman, you see how she's in the news too? Look at this shit. Okay, remember I posted this clip about the firm tied to Kristi Noem that was getting money from the, $220 million of the DHS? Well, it turns out that 𝗙cie 𝗵𝗏𝗧𝗏's, posted this photo of her on this private jet. Okay, right? But her husband's company is like one of the people that is getting a fucking contract here from DHS. So our Homeland Security spokesperson, 𝗙cie 𝗵𝗏𝗧𝗏, who writes all these handsome little statements about people weaponizing the cars, she's posting private jet photos because her husband is getting contracts, getting government contracts. Oh, that's nice, right? $220 million. Some of it's going to her husband's company. Some of it's going to Kristi Noem's company. So the DHS people are just taking government money for all their companies, right? While they're, running around on private jets or wearing body armor and shit and making videos. Dude, I mean, talk about fraud. Hey, man. Hey, Nick Shirley, you fucking punk. Instead of just sitting there, harassing Somali people, why don't you get up here in the private jet and start looking up 𝗙cie 𝗵𝗏𝗧𝗏's ass? Okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this is dirty, dirty shit, boss. Okay? Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Fucking no firm has closer ties to Noem's political operation than Strategy Group. Okay? Corey Lewandowski, her top advisor and her lover, right, has worked with the firm, and the company CEO is 𝗙cie 𝗵𝗏𝗧𝗏's husband. Okay? So Strategy Group, all right, a firm that is connected to all of them, is getting money. Dude, they're all just looting the till, guys. Every one of the fucking Trump people are like looting the till.
Certainly questions around the car, but also a question of what car did the two people take to reach East Burnside? Was it a different car? So definitely a lot of unanswered questions. We don't want to speculate tonight, but we are keeping a close eye from as far back as we can. Again, federal officials here, the FBI, lead on this investigation with their mobile command unit. Lots of crime tape. We are where we can be at this hour, but certainly we'll update you with more information as it becomes available.
Yeah, appreciate you keeping an eye on the scene there at...
So nobody even knows what's going on.
102nd in Southeast Maine, where this all began. We'll check in with you momentarily. Thank you, Catherine. Now we want to get to our Alma McCarty, who is live at Northeast 146th Avenue and East Burnside. This is about 3 miles or so from that first location that Catherine's at. Alma,
so she's at the spot where the cops found the people who had been shot.
Can you tell us?
Christine, I can tell you that there are a lot of people who are on scene here who were not on scene previously. We've got a lot of activists who are in the area really trying to see what is happening. We have some people who are streaming on their cameras, and then we also have some neighbors who are arriving here for the first time and going, what happened? I'm going to step out of the way, give you a kind of a look at what's going on. From what I understand, the investigators who were on the scene here, they were taking some pictures in this area beyond the fence. So it appears as though a lot of the investigation is focused on an apartment complex on the far side. This, again, 146th, Northeast 146th and East Burnside. The police presence.
Now, it's in Portland, but nobody really considers this as Portland. This is pretty far out. Like, even 102nd, my dentist is out on 103rd, right? But that is like almost Gresham, which is the next city over. So this is Portland, but it is like far east side. I wouldn't say it's really the suburbs. The suburbs are more like Beaverton and Tigard. It's hard to call them suburbs because I mean, I guess it is kind of the suburbs, but it's more like, you know, auto dealerships and auto body shops on the main streets. And then there's a highway out there that is like a feeder highway. And then there's a lot of apartment buildings. Okay. And there's some homes, but there's an awful lot of apartment buildings. And it's sort of like the more not really industrial, but more like that, you know, I guess exurbs is a good way of putting it. It's like the outer rim of the city that is, you know, before it gets really suburban, like bigger houses. And it's just a lot of apartments and a lot of like the inner suburbs. But the main streets out there, like 102nd, will have like these big shopping malls with like a Target, and the IKEA is out there, and you'll have like Costco and those types of things. And then, you know, 82nd Street has like, you know, auto body shops and car washes, and you know, there's a lot of strip clubs out there. And it's just a little, you know, it's like sort of urban living, but a lot of apartments, industrial working class. Yes, it is that type. Now, because of the way Portland has gentrified, because of the way Portland has gentrified, it's like a lot of the communities of color have been pushed out there. Okay, so when you get out past 82nd, there's a really big like Vietnamese community and a larger Hispanic population and a lot of black people. That there used to be black communities in North Portland and in the Alberta Arts District that have now moved out to this zone, because that's kind of what's happening in Portland. Is as housing prices have skyrocketed, inner Portland has gotten more white and more like people moving up here from California and shit. And the people of color are being pushed into the outer rims, you know, the outer edges of town. Dude, gentrification is so crazy. It's so crazy. They're doing it in Houston. Dude, it's happening everywhere. It's happening in New York City. Okay? Like my son has been telling me about this, how Manhattan, even as like these neighborhoods that 20 years ago were like mixed neighborhoods, are now all like white, you know, wealthy white yuppies are like in the Village, right? The fucking, right? The East Village is now a white yuppie. It's like the Upper West Side now, bro. It's crazy. You know, even like Manhattan's getting gentrified, dude. It's like wild, boss. It's fucked up, dude. It's like our system here is just not, I don't know, dude. Right? You consider 162nd the start of Gresham? Yeah, but this is on 145th, boss. This is like practically Gresham, right? 102nd is like Park Rose, you know, but I don't consider that to be like, that is like, it is Portland, but it's not really Portland, you know? I mean, it is, technically, it is a city of Portland, but it's like, it's different. It's different. There's a lot more fucking, you know, there's a lot more fucking, I don't know, a lot more red and kind of like the white rural, right? It is like, it's like the neighborhood where like the city becomes the suburbs, right? Gateway. Yeah. Gateway is a fucking, right? It is. It's like the part where the city becomes the suburbs. Lower income business area. That was cool. Yeah, no, that guy, I wasn't going to give that guy 2 seconds. I don't know what that guy was. I just looked at his message and was like, all right, we don't need that. Right? Dude, let's go. Dude, there's a lot of like, you know, I don't know, like the outskirts of Portland are a lot of like white rural vibes. There are, dude. But this is, for me, I don't consider 102nd to be Portland. I don't. You know what I mean? I don't. It is literally the city of Portland. Even here, 145th is the city of Portland, but I don't consider it to be Portland because it's not like Portland. You go out there and it is like not like Portland at all, right? You go out there and it is red. It is red. It's a mix, but it is more like, you know, it is more like industrial suburbs, right? You know, lots of right-wing freaks. Dude, yeah, no, the internet is crazy, guys. The internet is like Twitter is like bot. Have you noticed Twitter right now is like bot armies, like armies of bots, dude, armies of fucking bots, dude. It's definitely like Portland. Look at 82nd. Yeah, but I 82nd is like about as far out as like what I consider Portland, right? When you get past 82nd, to me, it feels like Gresham, even though it still is Portland. I have some friends that live out on 122nd. And it's just different than the inner city, you know, it's just different vibe. I mean, it's still Portland, but it's a very different vibe. It feels a little Clackamas-y, right? It's a little bit like Clackamas, which is the same area, but south, right? All of that feels like North Clackamas, right? 122nd is pushing it. Dude, for me, Portland ends at like 77th, okay? That for me, when you get beyond like 72nd, you're in the outer rims, boss. All right. That's my thing. For me, Portland is really 60th and maybe out to like 72nd, somewhere around there. Right. It depends. If you're near Mount Tabor or if you're near like Gleason, you can go out to like the 80s. But you know, right. Yeah, dude, Bradshaw, hold that link. We'll look at that in a minute.
Has been consistent. There hasn't been more police who have shown up or anything. I'm going to have my photographer Kyle kind of pan over to Burnside where there is some more police activity. Again, lots of crime tape, lots of people just trying to figure out what is going on here this evening. Again, this is the spot where Portland police say that those two victims arrived at after the shooting. So they presumably drove themselves from that location where Catherine is at over to this location and then called for help. We do not know the condition of the man and the woman who were taken.
See, so that's weird. So the people got shot by CBP. They drove to this apartment complex and then they called for help, right? Right? And Crawling Wind, let's go. And yes, to what Melt was saying, when you get out around 122nd, there are a fair amount of shootings, okay? In 122nd, there's like right around there and further out, there are shootings, like you know, fairly regularly. That's where 90% of the shootings happen in Portland, happen in like the Burnside, Powell, 122nd area. Right? It's like a little southeast Portland area, right? Sending love to all your Portland neighbors. Let's go. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, it's definitely a stark. I played rock and roll at a club on 116th and Stark. Oh, fuck, bro. It was pretty like good old boy kind of spots, dude. It was pretty gruff, right? I had a friend who bartended at this club out there, and it was pretty wild, right? You know, guys carrying guns and shit, like just regular people carrying guns. You know, a lot of people carrying guns out there, right? Felony Flats, yeah, the Felony Flats was like Jenny used to live out there. That was off of Foster, right? That was a nickname for a Foster place, and Portland is the keep it weird place. But Portland, guys, Portland is like a liberal, like, you know, sort of unusual artistic enclave that is surrounded by traditional sort of redneck, you know, white. I always say white trash. I don't know if that's a good phrase, but that's what we called it. Like my family, I'm from kind of a white trash family in Wisconsin, but that's like white sort of rural red mentality surrounds Portland, right? You go Clackamas, you go Gresham, you go, Tigard is like the suburbs version of that. And Beaverton is a little more suburby, but, you go beyond Beaverton to like Aloha and Hillsboro, and it is that rednecky vibe all around Portland. It's surrounded, Portland is surrounded by that, and right? Dude, it is. Yeah, Beaverton got expensive because of, Nike and HP and Intel and all that shit, right? Don't be hating. Dude, who's hating? Let's go. You grew up poor? Yeah, me too. I grew up real poor. I'm have far outdone the class that I was born into, right? You know what I'm saying? I have. I've exceeded the class. My parents, okay? My parents maxed out at $12 an hour. All right? That was where my parents hit their maximum earning. Okay? This was in the 90s. They were making $12 an hour in California. My parents. That was their, right? That was our the family that I grew up in, living in apartments. It was a 2-bedroom apartment always. My mom and dad and me and my sister shared. We were 5 years apart, but we shared a 2-bedroom. Me and my sister shared a bedroom the whole time I was growing up, right? When I was 11, she was 16, we shared a bedroom, right? It was crazy, but we were always in little 2-bedroom apartments, and my parents made $10, $12 an hour. Say your name. Let's go, Rain Dog. Let's go. Rain Dog is talking about Renee Nicole Good. But yeah, so we were like poor working class. But yeah, this story is weird though, right? That CBP shoots these people and lets them go, and then they drive away, and there's no chase, no nothing, no cops are called. They go all the way out here, and then they call the cops.
To the hospital. I think a lot of people out here want to know that as well. Just a lot of questions at this point, not too many answers, but I can tell you that this investigation is certainly active, certainly ongoing. A lot of Portland police, and we did see FBI earlier. If you take a look, Kyle's going to zoom in. You can see that there are some people who are actively investigating, again, in front of an apartment complex, an apartment unit, but we're not entirely sure what they are doing at this time. As soon as we find out more details, David, Christine, we will be sure to let you know.
Alma, I know you've been there for maybe a little over an hour or so, and you mentioned the crowd that has grown. Can you give us a sense of just how many people have shown up, how many people are there? I assume most of them maybe looky-loos at some point, but can you just kind of give us a sense of what you're seeing on the ground? See, we in Portland, in the city of Portland, we have not seen ICE, okay? We remember the video I made about that, the woman from Hillsboro who parked her car and blocked off those guys, okay? Right? You guys may remember it was during the summer, right around the Antifa frog. So the ICE detention center is in the city of Portland. It's right by the South Waterfront, okay? And that ICE detention center is in the city, but so when there are protests and the frog and all that shit, that's in the city. But the ICE agents themselves, we have not seen any of them in town. They are in Hillsboro. They are out by 122nd. They have mostly been existing in the areas where there are large pockets of Hispanic people. Like they would be, they have not harassed anything here in the city proper that I have seen. I've not encountered them. Nobody's talked about them. They were on Alberta one day. I could totally see that. They're Alberta is a place where you might see them. You may see them moving through St. John's or what have you, but we're not seeing them boots on the ground in Portland proper. They're mostly hitting the burbs and the outskirts of the city.
Yeah, Christine, what we're seeing, I would say it's less looky-loos and more people who are deeply concerned. A lot of these people we actually met and talked to yesterday at the rallies that were happening for Renee Nicole Good within the city of Portland. So a lot of people just concerned that this is happening a day after what happened in Minneapolis in terms of federal agents using deadly force against 2 people within the city. So there's people who are very concerned about that. There's obviously the people who live in the apartments around here. Some of them are more curious than others. Others are just like, hey, I'm trying to get past the police tape and back into my home this evening. I would tell you probably about 60 or so. And there are several journalists, of course, on the ground, whether they are, crews like ours. We did see a few, it seems to be influencers and some other people who are just filming the scene as it is unfolding out here. Things are not too rowdy at this moment. It was touch and go for a second with an interaction between Portland police and a man who was just really frustrated with the situation earlier, but nothing that escalated. And at this point, it's just a pretty calm, content scene, and people are just observing what is going on, which at this point, unfortunately, not too much new information to bring you.
See, what's interesting about this, I saw somebody in chat ask, what are the cops like in Portland? And this is fascinating, guys, because the cops in Portland are dicks, okay? They're like, Nick Sortor comes to Portland and says, oh, the woke police arresting me. These guys favor the protesters. The cops in Portland are like, a lot of them are like friends with the Proud Boys and shit. And they are not woke. They harass people. They are aggressive. They will lie and give fake tickets and shit. They are completely scumbags, okay, and degenerates that try to fuck over activists and protesters every step of the way. And yet Nick Sortor comes here and says, oh, these woke cops are protecting all the Antifa people. And it's like, no, they're not. The fucking, the anarchist sort of people that like rebel and shit, they hate the fucking cops. The cops are never on the side of the protesters here. They're terrible, okay? And like, but it's all this bullshit fucking narrative. You know what I mean? Way too much and ah from the reporter. Yeah, you know what's funny about this, Tara, is these reporters are standing here, but nobody has anything to say about this. That is what is so weird about this shooting, is it's already like being covered up, right? We have the stock statement from Tricia McLaughlin. Oh, weaponized vehicle. No explanation of why these people fled. The people called the cops for help. They went to the hospital. There's no mention of them being arrested or whatever. Supposedly they're from a vicious gang. But like, dude, this whole thing is going to be some FBI cover up, right? Yeah. I mean, that's what they're saying. They're saying there was two Venezuelan gang members, a couple were like stopped by CBP, and then they tried to drive over the CBP. CBP shot them. Let them go, I guess. And then they went to this apartment building 3 miles away and called the police. And the police took them to a hospital and administered medical aid. And now the FBI has everything cordoned off and no one can talk to anybody, bro. Like, what are we doing, dude?
All right, Al McCarty on East Burnside there. I want to hop over.
But like, nobody knows anything. They're all just like, oh, Trumpy, tell us what to say next. Oh, my prostate hurts. Yeah. No, yeah, dude, this is it. Nobody has any information on this, okay? See, here's the thing, Timberwolf. I don't believe a goddamn thing that DHS says, okay? When DHS issues a statement, I crumple that statement up into a ball like this. I wipe my fucking ass with it, and then I throw it out in the garbage bin, okay? Because nothing that DHS says is trustworthy at this point. Nothing. All they do is fucking lie. If they say these were gang members, I do not believe they were gang members at all, Okay? We have to see, we have to get some background. If they say they weaponized the car, I say you're full of shit. Okay? There's no fucking way. I've not seen DHS tell the truth yet on any of these instances. They've lied about every single fucking statement they've made, right? Like, for example, can I give you the biggest example? They say, oh, assaults on, on ICE off agents, right? They say assaults on ICE agents are up 1,300%. Okay? All right, show me one person who's been convicted of assaulting an ICE agent. Show me one. Name one goddamn person in the last year who has been convicted of assault on an ICE agent. There are none, okay? There's none. It's just every time if you are filming, they come over and are like, fuck you, you're under arrest. They charge you with assault, right? Not a single person has been convicted of this shit. I mean, protesters show up, they say something, the cops arrest them, and then they automatically charge them with assault. The whole thing is a bullshit.
Their best also in that neighborhood where the shooting victims, a man and a woman, were found as well. But we believe they're still in the hospital recovering from their injuries, trying to get an update on their condition. Blair, before I bring you in here, I just want to reiterate something Mayor Keith Wilson has said this afternoon. Again, this transpiring over the past few hours here, calling for calm. This is part of a statement. He says, I call on every Portlander to represent our values and to show up with calm and purpose during this difficult time. Is that what you're hearing and seeing on the ground right now?
As things stand right now in this location, things are calm. People do have purpose, but also people are upset. They're angry. Some people on the verge of tears. And as we speak, protesters are planning their next move. Joining me now live is Holly Brown. She is the leader of a local protest group. Holly, what is your plan for tonight?
Yeah, so tonight we are going to be meeting at the ICE facility at 7 p.m. We're going to be protesting against ICE there. We're going to be standing against their violent actions here in Portland today. We're going to be demanding that the ICE agent who shot these people is arrested, and we're going to be fighting back.
We have heard...
See, that's pretty standard, guys. First, Tony said South Park has been assaulting ICE. I am a key witness. Let's go, let's go. I mean, this is pretty much what happens. Guys, this is like most of the protesting in Portland ends up at the ICE facility. Okay, it's like they're not really like mobile. They always protest at the facility.
Repeatedly from Portland Mayor Keith Wilson and Chief Bob Day that they want peace. They want people to protest peacefully and not, quote, take the bait from the Trump administration. Do you agree with that? Is that how you guys will approach tonight?
I mean, I think that ship has sailed. They shot people in Portland today. We're not going to go out there and do something crazy, but we have to fight back. And quite frankly, saying that people should stand down, should avoid, going up against ICE right now is actually super dangerous, because when they do things like this, we have to show them that we will not let it stand in Portland.
It's true.
And we're not going to be silent.
But you'll do so peacefully.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go there. We're going to raise our voices. We're going to stand against violence here in Portland, and we're going to make sure everybody is safe while we're doing that.
Okay, Holly, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
We'll continue to monitor the situation out here and down at the ICE facility. But for now, we'll toss it back to you.
See, dude, they have no, this whole thing, they have nothing, bro. Right? They have nothing. Nobody even knows what the fuck is going on. I mean, of course there's going to be a protest. Now, what I don't like about this is I don't like how we don't know, right? We don't know what's even going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody even knows what's going on, boss. Right? Like, nobody has any fucking idea what's going on, boss. Right? You know? Let's go. Let's go. Dude, I think Portland has been standing down. I mean, Portland's been pretty chill. What will be interesting to see will be when the right-wing hacks come back, right? Everybody went to Minneapolis. Nick Sortor, Nick Shirley, Cam Higbee, all those fucking jackholes. They all got called to Minneapolis, but when will they come back to Portland, right? They'll come back to Portland when the time is right, when they get called. you know, when they fucking get called. I mean, they were only here during the summer because of Jay Jones, right? That's why they were here. It was during the summer. It was Jay Jones. They were trying to, like, you know, violent Portland, but they will be back. I wonder when they'll bring them back to Portland. I would imagine they're going to fire it up next summer. I mean, the winter is a less hospitable time to have a protest. Why are they all Nick? I don't know, dude. They're fucking losers, bro. The right-wingers are losers.
All right, Blair, I appreciate you giving us a first-hand perspective of someone on the ground and reacting to this news. Thanks so much.
Dude, they're so funny. There's no information on this.
Also, Justin, we've heard that at 6 p.m., Portland police plan to host a news conference. We plan to be there as well, and we'll bring it to you live as soon as we get there. Also, as we talk about Portland Police Chief Bob Day.
But as of right now, in costumes, see right now is typical of what we've seen a lot of times we've been down here so far this year. You see people in costumes, you see people with American flags, with signs, folks with megaphones. It's
pretty like nothing's really
music.
going on.
We have seen the gate of the facility open one time to let a vehicle out of the facility, and at that point people usually start yelling at the folks in that vehicle. But what we have not seen so far out here tonight, we have not seen any federal agents come out of the building to come up to protesters. We have not seen any protesters in the road blocking traffic.
Dude, this is like a snooze fest,
She goes
bro.
on to say that
as we speak.
Our Devin Haskins has been tracking all of that from the newsroom. Devin, give us a rundown on what you're hearing.
Yeah, guys, the latest response coming from Multnomah County Sheriff Nicole Morrissey O'Donnell. She says she's monitoring the situation and sent us this statement that said, quote, "My thoughts are with those who were injured during this shooting, their families, and anyone who witnessed it. Moments like this can create even greater fear, and I recognize the weight of emotion our country and now our community is carrying right now." She goes on to say that as sheriff, she supports Minneapolis, saying, "We understand the heightened emotion and tension." Many
What does it say?
Day also issuing a statement saying,
"Cannot sit by while constitutional protections erode and bloodshed mounts." See, I don't like the fact that there's no information, guys. That's the thing that fucking bothers me about this, is that there's like a shooting, we got victims, nobody knows shit, nobody's talking, everything's blocked off. So, like, let's get some fucking details, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, nobody knows what the fuck is going on, and they're just like, please don't, like, you know, burn down a police station or something, blah, 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 blah.
10 or so protesters that were actually going into City Hall to try and talk to Mayor Wilson about that ICE facility. They were talking about the land use violation and all the back and forth with that, and there were people that were telling me that inaction could lead to someone dying or being injured by federal agents, like what we saw in Minneapolis. And so they went up the stairs, we went up the stairs with them, and when they got to the office, a constituent consultant came out and told them the mayor would not be able to meet with them because there was an emergency. And that was the first time that we had heard about that. And they said it was an emergency involving ICE. And I'll tell you then, we didn't have any idea what that emergency was tied to, but people immediately started to assume that somebody had been hurt by a federal agent. And so we also learned at that time that the city council, they were in the chambers, that they went into recess. And then, of course, around an hour or so later, we learned that 2 people had been shot. And so I spoke with a few city councilors today, including Councilor Canal, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, horrified, not surprised, and outraged. We've been talking about ICE and its activities, its lawlessness for months now. And actually, this is a conversation that goes back years. And
Dude,
it's just a matter
they should talk to Angelita, is who they should be talking to.
Something like this happened here until.
Let's see if she has any, right? Hold on. Let's go to TikTok for a sec, right? Because one of our reps is a TikToker, right? Let's see, maybe from her official account. Oops. One of our city council members. So, yeah, dude. So she hasn't posted anything, which is unusual, right? Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's pretty fucking, it's this whole thing is just bizarre, dude.
The federal government reins in this force and takes it apart. We will not have an end to the violence.
Is this something that you, obviously we saw this in Minneapolis yesterday, is this something that you expected or you never thought it would get to this extent here at home?
I absolutely thought it was possible. That's why we've been working on legislation to try and rein in this government as it operates here for a number of months now. Yesterday, I thought about Minneapolis. I was in Minneapolis in October and met a lot of the local leaders there. Drove on Portland Avenue, actually, where the shooting happened, and I'm keeping the families of Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis and our 2 Portlanders who are injured right now in my thoughts.
When you talk about reining in how the government operates here, are you able to specify what exactly you mean in terms of that?
In terms of what we can do and in terms of what the federal government can do are 2 different things. We have to talk about ensuring that federal agents are not masked when they operate in the city limits of Portland. But broadly speaking, the federal government has a responsibility to take apart ICE brick by brick.
And just sort of last thing, speaking, there are Portlanders here that were rallying when we learned of the news. They were trying to meet with Mayor Wilson regarding the ICE facility, and they were told he couldn't come out because of this emergency situation, and we learned about all
Dude, what is this camera angle, bro? Like, who is this camera guy? Is this day one on the job? Like, here, I'm going to point the camera at the back of this dude's head. Like, dude, what are we doing, bro? You know what I mean? I mean, isn't it funny that like who's making these decisions, boss? Jesus, right? Jesus.
This unfolding right before our eyes. So to the Portlanders that were already, they said they felt like, inaction would lead to something like this. So now, obviously, there has been an incident. I mean, what do you have to say to people that, have been protesting at the ICE facility here, are going to continue? What do you have to say?
All right, so this is like just fucking nonsense for the most part.
Watson now, who's in the newsroom. Evan, help us put this into context a bit more. You spoke with a former FBI agent.
I did just about 20 minutes or so ago. I spoke with Brian Dugan, a former FBI agent who also trained federal officers. He called this situation terrible and tragic for everyone involved and explained how a use of force investigation will unfold from here following federal rules of evidence, meaning there won't be many public updates on the investigation side of things. But importantly, I asked Dugan about the timing and context of this shooting just a day after yesterday's shooting in Minnesota involving federal agents and immigration enforcement. Dugan said from his perspective, this is a product of escalated enforcement that he said is putting everyone in harm's way, increasing the chances of dangerous situations and bad outcomes.
We're trying to go after more violent offenders and or effectuate more immigration arrests. That means there's just a lot more contact in an operational sense, especially when there's a lot more unknowns. It's making a tinderbox for both the law enforcement professionals and the citizenry. It's just more activity, more operations. It's just heightened awareness, heightened.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, nobody knows shit about this. It's way different when you don't have the footage, right? When you're not seeing it, okay? So what do we have? It's just that, right? And people are now grabbing hold of this. So, and it says the FBI of Portland deleted this tweet. So what did they said? They said FBI Portland is investigating an agent-involved shooting happened 2:15 p.m. in Portland involving CBP agents in which 2 individuals were wounded. Active and ongoing investigation, but then I guess they deleted it. Okay? And we've heard the DHS statement, which is the same shit. Vicious gangs, shooting, blah, blah, blah. Dude, I know you keep saying PSYOP every 5 seconds. I mean, I'm not getting that vibe, right? I'm just curious, right? Janelle Bynum says, don't fuck with us. Says, this isn't law enforcement, it's state-sponsored terrorism. Stop fucking with us, right? Dude, there you go. All right, dude, let's go. Stop fucking with us, right? I like that. We need these goons gone. Get to stepping. Dude, I mean, they are. They're all like goons. But what I don't get is I mean, what was the press conference?
There was a time.
Like,
We know what the federal government says happened here. There was a time when we could take them at their word. That time is long past. That is why we are calling on ICE to halt all operations in Portland until a full and independent investigation can take place. Our community deserves answers. Our community deserves accountability. And most of all, our community deserves peace.
Dude, yeah. I mean, what's hard about this, guys, is that, like, the FBI that are investigating, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, remember 𝗙𝗍𝗪 Patel when he was looking for Charlie Kirk's shooter? We got him. We don't got him. We got him. We don't got him. Right? He's like live tweeting his fucking moves. I just picked up a sandwich at fucking Jack in the Box, and then I'm going to go search this field. Dude, it's like, what are these guys doing? Bro, they're idiots. Okay? They are idiots. Like everybody, I mean, you may have noticed that there is zero leadership in the Trump admin. Like nobody, they have no leadership. They just release a stock statement and then they fucking do some of this and then they like change it every 2 seconds. But so far, it looks like nobody knows anything, okay? It says, 218, the police responded to reports of a shooting, okay? They confirmed that federal agents had been involved in the shooting. So people called about the shooting, cops show up, and the CBP is there, and they confirm that a shooting happened, and then 6 minutes later, there was a man who, one of the guys who got shot was 3 miles away, called the cops for help. They responded there and found him and a woman with gunshot wounds. They did a tourniquet. They took them to a hospital, and that's it. And now the FBI is like processing these scenes. They released some bullshit fucking rubber stamp statement. Oh, vehicle is a weapon. They use their vehicle as a weapon. From Tricia McLaughlin, and that's that. And now I think all the activist groups in Portland are like, what the fuck is going on? Right? And we don't have names. We don't know. There's just these things about the gangs that they say. But again, I agree with what the mayor of Portland said. I agree with, myself that I listen to nothing that, right? Nothing that DHS says. Shout out to Dan Bongino, the dud. Let's go, Danny B. Dude, Dan Bongino touching his wiener since 1969. I don't believe anything that DHS says. So I don't think, right? The attorney general is opening an investigation, but it doesn't seem like anybody knows, man. Right? And, there's like some people with the city council meeting, right? But you have JD Vance though. Like, dude, this guy is starting to be a fucking problem, bro. Okay? Look at this shit, dude. This guy, look at this. Some Dems are encouraging violence. Like, really? Bro, this shit pisses me off. Okay? Because what happened yesterday? An innocent woman waved some fucking, ICE agents to drive by. They got out of the car. They escalated the situation. Then they shot her repeatedly in the fucking face as she drove away. And now this motherfucker wants to stand there and say some Dems are encouraging violence? Like, fuck you, Joy Boy. The preeminent political ideologue Dan Bongino. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is some horse shit, bro. And Vance has been, like, running his mouth a lot lately, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for taking my question. So the head of Minnesota's investigations agency says that the U.S. Attorney's Office has essentially cut off the state investigations agency's access to the investigation. What is the precedent for that, and why shouldn't the Minnesota officials on the ground have access and evidence to work on this investigation?
First of all, I wish the state officials in Minnesota would investigate why you have so many people who are using their vehicles and other means to actually interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation. The precedent here is very simple. You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy is protected by absolute immunity. He was doing his job.
Dude, they are not protected by absolute immunity. Like, that is some fucking horse shit, bro. Right? Like, who the fuck does this guy think he is, man? You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck does he think he is? And I mean, the thing about this that bothers me with JD Vance is, who is this guy? Like, fuck you, JD Vance. You are a nobody. You have been involved in government for like 4 years, bro. You had a tech bro that is maybe your side piece, like buy you a Senate seat, okay? You're a nobody. You haven't been involved in politics. You've been ass kissing, smoochy, right up on America's Hitler's ass, trying to get second in line to the presidency. Who the fuck are you? I feel like you're some Nepo baby that just walked in and thinks he owns the place. Like, shut the fuck up, dude, pencil neck. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do you get that vibe too? He never tells the truth. He's a stone cold degenerate liar, and he is a creep, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, guys, you ready? Let me just show you who JD is. Okay, right there, dude. That's JD Vance, dude. Homie is a creep. Okay, like, why you creeping on the ladies, boss? Why you creeping, bro? What are you doing, boss? Let the ladies pee in fucking peace. Yes, that is JD. That's JD Vance in high school, guys. Dude, this is why the young people are like shitting on him, bro. Dude, they like all the red pill Gen Z people hate him, bro. Right? Like all those idiots like Sneeko and Clavicular and all these donkey kickers, right? Who are idiots, but they may inspire people to vote or not vote, but they don't like JD Vance, right? They hate him because he's got a wife who is brown and he's like a level jumper, okay? He's like you know, I don't know. He's like a weird shapeshifter. I know he was in the Marines, but he doesn't look like a Marine. He looks like somebody who gets a fucking pedicure. You know, he wanted to use their eyeliner, right? Dude, isn't he like, he's pretty schlumpy. I mean, he's lost a lot of weight, okay? He's really like lost a lot of weight, but he is a creeper, okay? He is schlumpy and just trying to, right? He's like super transactional. Dude, there to steal eyeliner. He's there to steal their eyeliner and to apply it with a fucking tampon is what he's going to do. He's going to use the tampon as the applicator, boss. Dude, but nobody likes this guy. Nobody does, you know?
The idea that Tim Walz and a bunch of radicals in Minneapolis are going to go after and make this guy's life miserable because he was doing the job that he was asked to do is preposterous.
Yeah, dude, see this guy? Like, nah, man. You see that? How he wants to stand there and say, oh, like now the federal government's going to prevent the local people from investigating, right? Because that's some bullshit. That's bullshit, guys. Federal agents go to a city, kill somebody on camera that we all see, and then they're like, nope, we're taking all the evidence. You don't get to investigate. What the fuck is that, bro? Sorry, JD Vance, but we're not like your sheeple, right? This shit is fucked up, boss. This shit is fucked up, bro. Right? She's waving him on. She waves the other vehicle on to go, and they get out, and then this starts all this fucking chaos, bro. But like, Dude, he's having a meltdown though. You ready? Let's see what he says here, dude. Dude, we gotta, guys, listen to me, okay? We have to take JD Vance serious, okay? We don't have to fear him, and we're gonna fucking roll this guy. If he runs for president, he's gonna get rolled. But we do have to take him serious because he is a deceitful motherfucker, okay? He is a deceitful motherfucker who is like an outrageously good liar, okay? You know what I'm saying? He is an outrageously good liar, and he is extreme, okay? Yeah, no, he could very well be president. Now, the thing about this, though, guys, you ready? I worry about him less being president. You know why? Because I think if JD Vance was president, a lot of people would just fuck him over, okay? They would, right? Like most of the people in government have no respect for him because he's a level jumper, because he came in, talked shit about Trump, kissed his ass, brought the VC money in, and became Trump's like lackey. But everybody in Congress, like I think everyone in Congress has no respect for this guy. They all think he's a fucking bullshit artist. Like nobody wants to work for him. You know what I mean? Like everybody would be trying to fuck him up, I think, if he were president. Because he's aggressive and he's a really good liar, right? He's really good at schmoozing the reporters and like selling a narrative. But he's like, watch him here. Under pressure, he's really bad. I think man baby is a great term for it. He like gets like, you remember the story? Okay, listen to me. You remember when he went on that podcast? It was some guy podcast, like Andrew Schultz or somebody. And he told the story of how he was talking to Donald Trump and his kid wanted to show him some Pokemon cards. And he like yelled at his kid. Like that's what I picture with JD Vance. He's got a short, flammable temper. I bet he like hits his kid in anger. And I bet he drinks a little too much and like yells at 𝗙cie and like smashes things, right? Because he's got that man baby, like how dare you, like fucking, right? Like I don't think he can control his temper in a way that puts off people around him. Like I think he's got a super dark side. You can kind of see it in him. Like watch this clip, right? Where he like, he gets rattled, okay? He does. He gets like rattled and irritated if you question his authority or if you try to interrupt his shit. Oh yeah, Natalie's got the Pokemon clip. All right, you ready? Watch this, dude. This shit is, watch this. Here it is. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh no. So I call Trump and I'm like, hey, sir, what's going on? He's like, JD, you missed a very important phone call. And now I'm going to have to pick somebody else. And I like tense up and almost have a heart attack. And the crazy thing about it is my son, who's 7, is in the hotel room with me. And he's really into Pokemon cards right now. He's going through a Pokemon phase. Are you guys into Pokemon?
I was back in the day.
Okay,
yeah, that's a big phase right now, I think, in general.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's really into it. So he's trying to talk to me about Pikachu. And I'm on the phone with Donald Trump. And I'm like, son, shut the hell up for 30 seconds about Pikachu. This is the most important phone call of my life. Please just let me take this phone call. So
yeah, you see that? You see his face change though? Like, dude, look at that. I recognize that change, guys. Like I watched this clip, and when I watch this clip, like I get goosebumps, okay? Because that like subtle change in him, like you could just see his demeanor change. He's got that fucking, that scrawny, like egocentric, like switch flippy type negativity. You know what I mean? Whereas like if I was calling Donald Trump or Donald Trump was calling me and my son was talking about Pokemon, I would be reacting very differently. I would be like, you know, probably trying to include him in the conversation. Hey, Trump, Like, my kid said, you're the new Charizard or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would incorporate it, but like this whole like, hey, you need to shut the fuck up. I'm about to like get the presidency here. Shut the hell up, Pikachu. Your dad's about to be the most powerful man in America. Like, yeah, this is some dark shit. Okay, right? It is, man. There's like it was the switch when I first saw this clip. I was like, man, I recognize that energy. You know, I do, man. I recognize that shit. Now, with that in mind, watch this. Okay, watch this clip. You ready? We saw that. Now watch this. He has a demon, and his demon is like I deserve absolute power. But watch this.
She tried to run somebody over with her car, and the guy defended himself when that happened. Next question.
The investigation is still ongoing.
I said next question.
Dude, you see that? Look at him. A meltdown, bro.
She tried to run somebody over with her car, and the guy defended himself when that happened. Next question.
Dude. Hey, JD. Hey, fuckhead. Dude, we saw the video there, son. I don't care how much eyeliner you put on, piggy. Shut the fuck up, bro. We all saw the video. She didn't try to drive over with the car, and he shot her in cold blood. And you ready for this, JD? You sack of shit. Let me show you one picture, boss. Look at that, buddy. Look at that, JD. That is the second shot right there, okay? You lying piece of shit. She's nowhere near that car. That guy's nowhere near in danger. Why is he sticking his gun in the open window right next to her head and firing 2 more fucking shots? Okay? Fuck you, JD. And I'm sorry you can't handle asking the questions. But dude, you see how livid he gets? Right? You see how livid he gets, dude? He is...
She tried to run somebody over with her car, and the guy defended himself when that happened. Next question.
Dude, he can't handle the pressure.
She tried to run somebody over with her car, and the guy defended himself when that happened. Next question.
The investigation is still ongoing.
I said next question.
Dude, you see that? Dude, this guy's an abuser. I mean, we know he's an abuser, or he wouldn't be hanging out with Trump. But like, guys... If this guy, I don't think he can win an election, but I'm saying if Trump wins and this guy becomes president, like it's going to be a free for all, okay? Because he is not going to be able to handle all of the forces in the Republican Party that will try to destroy him. He will crumble, okay? He will have a nervous fucking breakdown. Right? Yeah, TPUSA endorses him because he's a religious zealot, right? But I think if he becomes president, I mean, this is like Donald Trump during COVID level fucking, right? Dude, everybody hates him, dude. He is so illegitimate. He's even more illegitimate than Trump is, okay? But like, bro, he is fucking out, just crazy, man, right? And then he says shit like this.
The vice president's residence is here in Washington, D.C.
Okay. The Democrats.
Like, you see that? Like, look at that. Look at that. See that smile? Dude, he fake, bro. He is fake as shit. He is a short-tempered, thin-skinned, gutless turd that can't stand being... Oh, do you have a longer clip of that? Thank you, Natalie. That's what I was looking for. Let's see the longer version of that. Dude, Natalie's coming in hot.
I'm sorry, guys. What's going on here?
All right, here we go. You ready? Let's see what we got, dude. Dude, I'm going to go back a minute here. Dude, look at him. Dude, fuck JD Vance, bro. There he is, boss, right? He's this same guy, bro. He is this same fucking guy, dude. He has not changed, boss. He is, what did they say? What did that clavicular kid say? He's a subhuman. He's a subhuman, bro. All right, let's watch him in action, bro. All right, here we go.
You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy is protected by absolute immunity. He was doing his job. The idea that Tim Walz and a bunch of radicals in Minneapolis are going to go after and make this guy's life miserable because he was doing the job that he was asked to do is preposterous. The unprecedented thing is the idea that a local official can actually prosecute a federal official with absolute immunity. I've never seen anything like that. It would get tossed out by a judge. So what I'd like Minnesota to focus on is the real issue, that they're encouraging people. Minneapolis officials are encouraging people to commit violence against ICE officials. It's ridiculous. It's got to stop. Go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you. You said earlier that there's a left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault, and make it impossible for ICE officers to do their job. You told my colleague just now that there's an investigation going on into that network.
Dude, this left-wing network bullshit doesn't exist. They're full of shit.
So, if everything that you say is true, how does being part of that network justify being shot?
Well, being part of the network doesn't justify being shot, but ramming an ICE officer with your car, that's what justifies being shot.
Dude, ramming. Dude, you ready? Ramming. JD, I'm sorry, just much like when you were in high school and college, there was no ramming, JD. We're sorry to say. Dude, ramming. Dude, maybe when he hangs out with Peter Thiel, there's some ramming.
Not a good thing, by the way, but when you force somebody to engage in self-defense, it's almost a preposterous question. I'm not saying that funding some of this stuff justifies capital punishment. Nobody would suggest that. The reason this woman is dead is because she tried to ram somebody with her car and that guy acted in self-defense. That is why she lost her life, and that is the tragedy. Now, there may be other violations of the law and other penalties that are associated with those violations of the law. For example, if you are funding violence against our law enforcement officers, I'm not a prosecutor. My guess is that's not the sort of thing that earns capital punishment, but it should sure as hell earn you a few years in prison.
See, again, guys, this is all bullshit, okay? This is more of their Antifa nonsense where they want to try and use everything that happens everywhere. They kill someone and then they say Antifa caused this, okay? Dude, this stuff infuriates me because the gaslighting with these like shitty motherfuckers, this guy is a degenerate human being. He's a liar. He's a sneak. He's a thief. Okay. He's an abuser, and he puts a little eyeshadow on and converts to Catholicism and all of a sudden thinks he gets to dictate like how the world's going to work. And it's like, fuck you, JD. Like, none of us are going to listen to you. You have no authority over us, and your little federal Gestapo force ain't going to do shit. We're going to roll them too.
If you're funding the effort to try to assault our law enforcement officers, what is, I'm sorry, guys, what's going on here? You guys are meant to report the truth. How have you let yourself become agents of propaganda of a radical fringe that's making it harder for us to enforce our laws? You just asked me a question that presumed that the reason why this woman died is because she was engaged in legitimate protest. She tried to run somebody over with her car, and the guy defended himself when that happened. Next question.
The investigation is still ongoing.
I said next question.
Mr. Vice President, I mean, you presumably watched the video yourself. There's not the slightest doubt in your mind, having viewed it, that the victim, you still believe that she deliberately tried to ram him despite seeing this video?
Look, I don't know what is in a person's heart or in a person's head, and obviously...
Dude, see, I like that question. The reporter's like, you watched the video and you really think she deliberately tried to drive over him? Because, guys, we all watched the goddamn video. Everybody knows that she didn't try to run over anyone. Everybody fucking knows this. His face is gross. But, like, dude, it's like he's standing up there trying to gaslight the whole goddamn world. Oh, you bought into propaganda? It's like, no, we all saw the video. The only fucking people that are trying to say this are you and all your paid right-wing influencers, you fucking dumb fuck. I mean, watch his face crinkle up. I know he's going to avoid the question, but watch his face crinkle up when he realizes, because every reporter in that room knows that this woman did not try to run that guy over. We all know. We all saw it. Dude, I mean, dude, if you haven't seen the video, I made the video of it. By the way, somebody did ask a little bit earlier about that SS tattoo guy. I made a video about that too. We covered that yesterday. But like, dude, I mean, he's up there like, why are you guys not believing my bullshit story? Oh, I'm going to yell at you.
Next question.
Mr. Vice President, I mean, you presumably watched the video yourself. There's not the slightest doubt in your mind, having viewed it, that the victim, you still believe that she deliberately tried to ram him despite seeing this.
Look at him!
Look, I don't know what is in a person's heart or in a person's head, and obviously we're not going to get the chance to ask this woman what was going on. What I am certain of is that she violated the law. What I'm certain of is that that officer had every reason to think that he was under very serious threat for injury or in fact, his life.
No, that's bullshit. Because we all saw the video. That guy purposely established himself in front of that car so it would be hard for her to drive away. And what's more is this guy's got a history of it. You may have seen my tweet, guys, but look at this tweet right here. Jonathan Ross, it looks like this ICE guy has a history of jumping in front of cars, okay? Because DHS rules say do not get in front of the car. And he did it back in June. And he had injuries from being dragged by this car because he jumped in front of it and tried to hold on to the driver as the driver rode away. So this guy, this shooter, has a history of behaving outside the guidelines of DHS and purposely putting himself into situations that create these types of events. And he did that, and then he murdered a woman, right? And it's like, man, that's some fucking horseshit, boss.
What I'm certain of is that she accelerated in a way where she ran into the guy.
No, she didn't.
I don't know what
she was
in
going
her heart
2
and what
miles
was
an
in her
hour.
head, but I know that she violated the law, and I know that officer was acting in self-defense. It raises an interesting point, though. Look, if people want to say that we should have a legitimate debate about, you know, what was she really doing, right? Was she panicking when she drove into this officer, or was she actually trying to ram him? That's a reasonable conversation. What's not reasonable is for so many of you to plaster all over the media that this was an innocent woman and that the ICE agent committed murder.
But that's exactly what happened. Dude, shooter guy thinks he's Mel Gibson? Dude, that's exactly what happened, okay? She was there waving them by. They jumped out, escalated the situation. She tried to get away from their escalation, and they fucking murdered her, okay? And now they're trying to tell us that we didn't see what we saw. And it's like, fuck you, JD, okay? We're gonna fucking badger you for the next 20 fucking years about this shit. We're never gonna let you forget this, okay? Because they are conning us.
Which is what many of you have said explicitly and some of you have said implicitly. That's what I have an objection to. The idea that this was not justified is absurd, and I think everybody knows it in their heart. Yeah. In the green jacket.
Taking down the temperature. It seems like political violence is ratcheting up and riots could be around the corner. What steps does the administration have planned to try to unite America? Average people on both political sides are so tired of fighting with each other, and I think all the journalists in this room could agree with me that we don't want to be part of the problem. Do you have any words to unite America?
You know, I know you don't want to be a part of the problem, and I think that's true of a lot of you. I'm not sure it's true for everybody, because the reporting over this has been one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen in media.
Dude, see, like listening to this shit, dude, yes. No, it was very similar to the Rittenhouse situation. These guys created this situation, Vance, but again, guys, right? Like, oh, this is the biggest scandal. It's like, it's a scandal, all right, JD, but not because of the way they're reporting it, okay? It's a scandal because these guys are gaslighting the shit out of us, okay? And I'm telling you right now, okay, I am telling you right now, this guy, okay, this guy is never going to be president, okay? This guy, we need to guarantee that this motherfucker is never president, boss. Never, 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 never. Like, I mean, if Trump dies, he gets it. But if he runs in 28, we are going to fucking badger this guy right out of politics, bro. Okay, right out of politics. All right, so what was the Moskowitz? Remember, that's JD, boss. That's JD. Dude, we all know that she wasn't trying to drive over that guy. Okay, we all know it. But you see how he can't handle the pressure. Dude, he can't handle the pressure, man. He's already cracking. Dude, one fucking high pressure event, and this guy's already folding, dude. It's nuts, boss. All right, so somebody said they had a clip of Jared Moskowitz. All right, let's see what we got. This, all right, here's a clip. Let's see what we got here.
Recognized. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to go back to a previous statement by one of our colleagues, Governor Biggs. He said that Democrats have not tried to de-escalate the situation. You know, after the brutal murder of Charlie Kirk, which was domestic terrorism, okay, we tried to de-escalate. After the assassination attempt against the president, which was domestic terrorism, I was appointed to the task force to investigate that assassination attempt. We tried to de-escalate. After the anti-Semitic attack in Colorado, in which you put forward a resolution that included language about ICE's favorable role in that. 75 Democrats voted for that resolution, even though there was no reason to put that in there, but you did it to try to put us on the board. So this idea that that Democrats have said nothing, that we haven't tried to de-escalate, it's just not true. It's just not true. Now, it's not like you guys have any credibility on de-escalation. I mean, literally, we're not the ones who told tens of thousands of people to show up to the Capitol and run in here like a mob. And now you all tell people it never happened.
Here it comes.
You know, like, oh, that's not what the deal was. It's not like every day there isn't some sort of tweet that just escalates and escalates and escalates.
Dude, and so, I wonder who he's talking about there, right?
Listen, I hope one day we could have a hearing on de-escalation. I would love to participate in a hearing on how we together de-escalate. But looking at one party and saying, you don't de-escalate, I mean, that's literally this dialogue on how we do bring down the temperature together. You know,
dude, I wish they hadn't cut it off right there. He was like just getting going. You see that? They why did Forbes cut that off? They totally snipped him right there. He was just getting hot on that. Like, what a weird place for Forbes to cut out the end of that statement, because he was literally just getting going. Because, you ready? He's making some really good points here about how part of the narrative that we're dealing with the Trump administration is the Trump administration is escalate. And then they're like, hey, why the Democrats are like being so violent? And it's like, fuck off, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, all the MAGA, all the Trumpies, like, fuck off. Seriously. Dude, all they've been doing is ratcheting shit up. They're shooting people in the fucking face and then hiding the investigation, denying state investigators' evidence. You know, I mean, dude, Trump got rolled today by the Supreme Court, where they basically said, dude, you can't send the National Guard into Chicago. And they hosed him. We're going to get to that in a sec. I mean, we're just about out of time. But like, bro,
I want to, we heard about this domestic terrorism thing, right? Domestic terrorism. That was the first thing we heard. I have a question. This is the person who within minutes of the shooting, went on TV and called it domestic terrorism. What, is she hiding her face like her ICE agents now? She can't show her face either? By the way, is this what the $800 billion went to? Every day we see her after there's some new tragedy in Homeland, she's wearing a different outfit with a different hat. I mean, come on, guys, she looks ridiculous.
She does.
She's not just an embarrassment to the country. She's an embarrassment to you and the president. Okay, she deserves to be removed from her job by the president, and if not impeached, not just for her complete failures in Homeland, but her destruction of FEMA. She's not even running the department.
Dude, she's not running the department, guys. She is not. She is like flitting around on private jets with her boyfriend, her adulterous boyfriend, Corey Lewandowski, playing cosplays and being in videos. She's not running anything. And right, she is not. And I mean, my God, did you see what she looked like in that fucking press conference? Like, what is she doing? Is she taking the government money and just slamming it into her face? Like, dude, what was this when she was on Jesse Waters? Like, what is she doing here, bro? Where is that clip? Was it was Jesse Waters, wasn't it? This one. Like,
DHS Secretary
dude,
Kristi Noem.
What the fuck is this, bro? Like, what is she doing? Is she, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck is she doing? Look at her face, guys. It's like she is just having like Botox parties or some shit on a private jet with her goddamn boyfriend. And you know what I mean? She's not running the department. If you're running the department, you're like in your office. You're managing budgets, managing people. And meanwhile, what do we have going on? Okay, we have Kristi Noem tied to $220 million worth of fraud. We have Tricia McLaughlin of DHS. Her husband is getting some of this DHS contract money. They ordered 2 new planes, right? Remember that? Fucking, where is it? Right? Where all of a sudden there's like, they're going to buy her 2 private jets. Like, why the fuck does this woman need private jets? Remember that shit, guys? Where they're, you know, they're requisitioning money for private jets. And meanwhile, look at her face, guys. She doesn't even look human.
Someone joins me now. Ms. Secretary, you've been out there on the ground. What have you found out so far?
Well, Jesse, the amount of fraud in Minnesota is unprecedented. It's incredible what we've found. And we did surge operations there the last 48 hours. We've sent 2,000 more ICE officers, HSI officers.
And now their ICE agents are investigating fraud? Like, really? Like, dude, these ICE agents, how the fuck are they investigating fraud? They don't even know how to, like, use their service weapon. They're running around like clowns, like arresting U.S. citizens at Targets and shit, and they're working on the fraud case? Like, what are these fucking people doing, bro?
Individuals there to help get to the bottom of it. But what we're finding is not only people who've come into this country illegally, but they've perpetuated crimes on people, and they've stolen the American citizens' money, and they've put it in their own pockets, and then the pockets of other individuals that are here, businesses, individuals that...
That is a DOJ, like, right? That's a DOJ job to be investigating fraud. Okay, but she's walking around with her ICE agents going and investigating fraud in Minneapolis. Dude, I mean, you know, no offense there, Kristi, but like, if you want to find some fraud, how about if we start here? Right? I mean, dude, Moskowitz is right. She is fucking ridiculous.
Bought luxury homes and took vacations, and they all did it using somebody else's money, and money that should have been used to help people who really was supposed to benefit from these programs. Medicaid individuals that were supposed to get help for developmental services that were
She doesn't even know who uses Medicaid, by the way.
handicapped individuals, people who had autism that needed services and they didn't get it because these criminals were out there.
Dude, now she's like gonna protect the people with autism. Meanwhile, RFK Jr. is like trying to say you get autism from standing too close to your microwave oven or some shit. Right? Dude, what are we
Stealing
doing?
the money and instead benefiting themselves.
All right, so they're ripping off the most vulnerable members of society, and people were blowing the whistle in Minnesota.
Oh, shit, bro.
And the politicians weren't listening, were they?
By the way, guys, we do need to address something here, okay? Because I want to tie something together before I go. All right, we didn't get to any Epstein tonight, but that's okay. But I want to show you an 𝗪𝗡 clip, okay, about Tim Walz, okay, because we have this, the fraud in Minnesota, okay, and 𝗪𝗡 today is recommending, she is recommending criminal charges for Tim Walz. Hold on, let's find her clip. Right? I think here it is. Let me just find a clean fucking clip. Oh, here it is.
That you're tracking actually had an internal memo that was released that stated that the government of China considered you a prime target for influence operations. I'm letting you know that now because I do believe that.
Wait, that's the old clip. Oh, here it is. Here it is, guys.
Chair recognizes Ms. Luna.
Thank you, Chairman Comer. Honorable Robbins, based on your record before your committee, when did Governor Walz first become aware of widespread fraud in Minnesota social service programs?
I would assume that he has been aware of it since he ran for office.
I would assume, you notice her language, assume, right? She doesn't have a date, but hold on.
Governor in 2018.
By 2017, DHS investigators warned 𝗙cie fraud could exceed 50%. What was that information elevated to the governor's office?
Yes, there was an OLA report.
Thank you, ma'am. By 2020, state officials knew feeding our future invoices were fraudulent. We know that payments continued to the AG's knowledge. Did they continue to the governor's knowledge as well?
Yes.
Attorney General Ellison agreed on tape to fight Minnesota's own Department of Human and Health Services in exchange for Somali political and financial support. In your personal opinion, do you believe it is a possibility that Governor Walz also made that personal deal, or that he at least knew about the Attorney General's agreement?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't want to rehash what you guys have spent hours answering. We know that there's a big issue with the fraud in Minnesota. So on a number of things, I'd first like to point out, thank you for being here today, but because of your testimony and because of some of the evidence that we've seen brought forward, as well as I'm sure the fact that this committee, I assume, at Chairman Comer's direction, will be soon subpoenaing AG Ellison, I would like to make criminal referrals regarding Governor Walz as well as AG Ellison. As you know, U.S. Code 3...
Okay, so she's based on this woman. She's like making criminal referrals, all right? Blah. Everyone's going to run with this. Oh, they're going to arrest Tim Walz, and then they're all going to get mad when he doesn't get arrested. But you know the problem, guys? You know who this fucking woman is? Okay? You know who this woman is? She's a GOP rep from fucking, okay? That is Kristen Robbins, okay? Right? Look at her. Like a crazy person. Look at her fucking with her Jesus eyes. Look at that. Like, what the fuck is she doing with her teeth, right? Well, you ready for this, guys? Oh, wait. We have Kristen Robbins for governor. She's running for governor. She is a GOP rep in Minnesota that is running for governor, who is part of this coalition with another woman running for governor, Lisa DeMuth, and Nick Shirley. These women have created this thing that like is anti-Tim Walz. Now, it gets better. You know why? Because let's go and look what happened on March 27th of 2025, okay? Because you have this story, guys, right here, okay? where Tim Walz tried to pass a comprehensive fraud prevention bill, okay, that would have funded the Inspector General. It would have provided funding for 2025 through 2027. It would have expanded access to be able to combat and oversee the fraud enforcement and unify everything. The Republicans killed it, okay? This fucking woman and the other woman running for governor killed Tim Walz's fraud proposal. Then they roped in Nick Shirley and used Elon Musk's Twitter to create this ginormous, oh my God, Tim Walz is part of this fraud thing. And now they're testifying in front of Congress. And Anna Paulina Luna's like, oh, Miss Robbins, who's running for governor and who killed Tim Walz's fraud prevention bill. Oh, you're telling me that Tim Walz has been negligent on handling the fraud. Oh, that's really interesting. Let's go file some criminal charges, right? But, dude, what are we doing, dude? What the fuck is wrong with this woman, bro? Look at that face, guys. I mean, tell me that shit is not insane, bro. Like, her face, dude, is crazy, boss. Look at that shit, dude. Like, bro, I'm gonna fucking put a deadbolt on my fucking bedroom door tonight, dude. Seriously. If I wake up and see that face, bro, I am going right out the window. Dude, like, hello? It's not just me, right? She looks fucking like insane, does she not? It's not just me, right? You look at that photo, she does not look normal, right? There is like some type of possession going on with this woman, like she doesn't have a soul, bro. She looks like the Joker's mom. Dude, like, I shit you not, dude. Like, she looks like talk about daycare. She looks like she eats children, okay? Something is very, very, it is like Jesus and methamphetamine have combined to create this woman, boss. All right? And that's, you know, I'm sorry I had to do that for you. She's straight out of The Conjuring. Let's go boxing. All right, it's time to dance, guys. You guys called for a dance party. We got a dance party incoming. Another great night. I'm going to go make some videos. But like I said, though, guys, this Tim Walz, this daycare, this, I mean, it's not that there's not fraud in Minneapolis. There is. You could go into any city, any government. There is fraud because there's no government oversight. That shit got worse back in 2018 when Trump was president because he deregulated everything. And it's going to get worse now with Trump being president. And his own administration is committing fraud. But that whole thing is cooked up to try and destroy Tim Walz because those Republicans want to take over the state. They're trying to use this as a wedge, hoping desperately they can take over the state. Now, Mike Lindell has stepped into the race, and he's probably going to win the nomination, which may sink their whole fucking plan, because I don't think he can win a general. But, like, guys, they're lying. They are faking this shit. And now they're sending Benny Johnson to go jerk it in California. They're trying to get Gavin Newsom. They're trying to bring down their biggest threats. And I want Tim Walz to fucking stand up, man. I'm kind of bummed that he's like dropping out. But like, dude, we gotta not fall for this bullshit, okay? Because these people are fucking crazy, okay? They are. And they're full of shit, boss. They are. They will fail, okay? Yeah, dude, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, that ICE shooting just galvanized the Democrats. Like ICE, they sent, right? Kristi Noem sends in, I got 2,000 agents coming in. And day one, they already fucked it up, right? Because, like, fuck you, Minnesota ain't going to vote for MAGA now. They're fucking executing citizens. And we all know that she didn't fucking try to drive over that guy. Like, who the fuck do they think they're kidding? All right? Dude, you're going to have nightmares? Hey, I'm going to dance for you right now, though. And we're going to get rid of your nightmares right now because I'm going to shake my ass for all you guys. And it's going to be beautiful and entertaining. And you're going to be thinking about my hip dance moves. Okay? But, like, fuck these clowns, bro. You ready? You ready for some goodness or what? Right? You ready to see me? Remember, guys, I got suspended for being too hot. So hopefully I won't get suspended again for cooking it up on the dance floor. But here we go. Oh, stretch. Dude, it feels so good to stretch. Dude, it feels so good to stretch, guys. You ready? You ready? Stretch it out, baby. I want to see you guys dancing. Dude, we need dance cams for all of you guys. Right? Oh. That would be cool. For the party, let's go. Stop the stupidity. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you, boss. Dude, I can't remember if I did one for Conjuring. I'm gonna do another one just in case I forgot. Right? And for Window, it's the fucking fuck you, Trumpy! Oh, get shit on. Let's go. All right, you ready? Dude, thank you guys again for all the support. Fucking incredible night, dude. We're doing this. All right? We're doing it. 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 All right? All right? All right? Time to get a little bit of that deja vu. You can dance like a mofo. Good. Good, dude. Dancing's good for the soul, boss. It is, dude. Shit is good for the soul, dude. All right, I think we're ready. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Got a lot of choices. I got a lot of ways that I can go. I hear a lot of voices. They have a lot to say, but I don't know. Been here before, yeah, I do recognize the title. There's marble floor, and I don't need my eyes to see what lies behind that wooden door. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like things will turn out okay. Everything lately, I'm feeling so familiar. Coming on greatly, it's feeling like a million. I've been here before, yeah, I do recognize the title of this marble floor, and I don't need my eyes to see what lies behind that wooden door. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it like things will turn out okay.
Let's go.
I'm coming up slowly. Come on. This feeling that I have now, almost a bit holy. An notion that I will make it out somehow. A little
There we go. Now we're vibing. Let's go. Paint away 6 hearts, hope I'm okay. You're alright, goodbye then if you dare. Someone new is pulling everywhere. I'm afraid to let them. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Let's go. Thank you, guys. The dance parties are always a good time. Pink. Yeah, 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 yeah. Woo! After you, I'm afraid of feeling some too soon. Cling to what you're given. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Day and night, 6 hearts, hope I'm okay. You're alright, goodbye then if you dare. Someone new is pulling everywhere. I'm afraid to let them. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Is what I think. I will drown in pink. Yeah, 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 yeah. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Nothing is what I say. I feel far away. Nothing is what I think. Nothing is what I think. I will drown in pink. Oh, 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 I just wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. I will never be alone again.
just wanna change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I would never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally